again to the Zoom room. Great, thanks for joining again. We're going to be covering today the section of the text we're on, which is section 2 of chapter 2, called the Atonement, or first saying it as the Atonement as defense. So done some prep already, done a bit of translation. I'm going to just share my screen with you, and we'll crack on with it. Okay, so get the correct, where are we? So there we go. All right, can you all can you see the screen? So let's ask Christine. You said you got to go in about 15 minutes, so if you can read the first paragraph for us, please.
You can do anything I ask. I have asked you to perform miracles and have made it clear that miracles are natural, corrective, healing, and universal.
Okay, and then we'll do the alternative down there. I haven't changed miracles to corrections. So.
You can do anything I ask. I have asked you to perform corrections and have made it clear that corrections are natural, corrective, healing, and universal.
Okay, so you're just telling us about the miracle, and you're saying you can do this. Ask you to perform corrections. I've asked you to make corrections, maybe might be better. Rather than perform. Make corrections, because it's always a shift internally. And that these are natural, corrective, healing, and universal. They're everywhere all the time, and this is how we should be living, making these corrections continuously. Okay. Next one. There is nothing they cannot do.
There is nothing they cannot do, but they cannot be performed in the spirit of doubt or fear.
Okay, so doubt or fear isn't going to work. You must overcome that. That's part of the letting go process, to let go of doubt or fear in order to allow them.
When you are afraid of anything, you are acknowledging its power to hurt you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, why would you be afraid?
Yeah, realize that.
So fear makes it, you see what fear does is it makes the external world real to you, because it can apparently hurt you, and then you identify with the false self that can be hurt. It's an identification with the self-concept, and related to that, the body, that can apparently be hurt and suffer. So we give it the power to hurt us through our fear, acknowledging its power to hurt you.
Remember that where your heart is, there is your treasure also. Yes, someone said this morning, I can't remember who, whenever I'm dealing with a difficult situation, I focus my attention on my heart. And I thought, wow, that's a nice habit to develop.
Yeah, if you can drop in to your heart center, it's an energy center. So what sits there is feeling, emotion. It's a deeper intelligence than just the mind, the brain. And there's an institute called the Heart Math Institute who've done a whole lot of research on it.
Yes.
And they're saying this is the true power center. It's not the brain. It's there's intelligence there, and it's the spiritual intelligence center. So you stay rooted in your heart. You drop your attention down there, and you will feel and perceive differently from that
And
place.
there's a torus heart field. Body torus, and there's a heart torus, and that energetic field is far more powerful than the brain.
Yeah. The idea is we entrain the brain. Remember, the brain is not what brings us consciousness. This is the delusion of science. It says the brain brings consciousness. The brain is the source of consciousness. It's not true. Our mind is far bigger than that. The brain is just another instrument through which consciousness comes. It's a part of the vehicle which we have, but to think that it's everything we are is a mistake. And to focus all of our attention there, we say, I'm in my head, stuck in my head. Well, we know what that feels like. Too much thinking going on, and then I can't access a deeper intelligence. My feelings. So it's the heart centers, where the power lies. And to drop our attention into that then allows us to access this higher intelligence, the Holy Spirit. And where your heart is, there your treasure is. And so whatever you feel strongly about, where your heart is, there your treasure is. Whatever you feel strongly about, that's your treasure. So it's heart implies feelings. Should we translate that? Does that need translation? Remember that where your feelings are, maybe. So the prayer of the heart, where your feelings are, there your treasure also is. This shows us that treasure is what we feel strongly about, and that's the prayer of the heart. What we feel strongly about. You believe in what you value.
You believe in what you value. If you are afraid you are valuing wrongly, your understanding will then inevitably value wrongly, and by endowing all thoughts with equal power will inevitably destroy peace.
Okay, so what's he saying there?
Yeah, if you
fear is a result of valuing wrongly. So it's incorrect.
Yes,
thought system.
More to the heart from the head, valuing that spiritual connection.
By endowing all thoughts with equal power, will inevitably destroy peace. So we value wrongly, then we will lose our peace, because we're feeling now that something in the dream, in the illusion, is valuable, and then we fear that it won't be there. We fear that it's going to be taken away, that we'll lose it, and all of that is you can't fear losing your true self. It's not possible. You fear losing an illusion, whatever you're attached to. And that is why we carry on. That is why the Bible speaks.
Why the Bible speaks of the peace of God, which passeth understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by errors of any kind.
Yeah.
It denies the ability of anything. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you.
So that would be translated as anything not of perfect love.
To affect you.
Anything
Not of.
Does not come from, maybe not be. Does not come from perfect love to affect you. I think that probably needs to be a piece of God, because it's a quote. Peace of God that passeth understanding. So this is the denial we must all learn to make. Ability to deny anything that doesn't come from perfect love.
And this is the proper use of denial. This is the proper use of denial. What does that mean?
Yeah, so he's saying it, you must deny the ability of anything that does not come from perfect love to affect you. This is the proper use of denial.
Okay.
Yeah, so you deny the ability of the ego, the idea of separation in all its forms, to affect you. And he's saying that's the proper use of denial. Not used to hide anything, but to correct error. So denial doesn't mean you repress and you suppress. Because whatever's coming up, you're aware of it, but then you consciously deny it. You say, no, this is not true. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of where it comes from. I know what it is, but no, I deny it because it's not true. It's not used to hide anything, because it would be the ego's use of denial. I don't want to really see my feelings, so I just denied it. So I repress my fear, my anger, but I don't really deal with it.
Yeah.
This is saying, no, look at it, let it come up. The fear's there, the anger's there, whatever it is. I'm not hiding it, but I'm consciously bring it into conscious awareness, and then I deny it, and I say, no, this isn't true. This thought system that this represents, and the feelings that go with it, and all the emotional drama that's bundled up with it, this isn't true, and this is the proper use of denial. So, okay.
It brings all error into the light, and since error and darkness are the same, it corrects error automatically.
Yeah. So into light of true awareness. Since error and darkness are the same, correct error automatically. We normally translate darkness as limited awareness. But the error, I think we'll leave it. It's quite nice because he's got light of true awareness. And this is the darkness. So it's just an error. And you recognize the error is not true. You let it go, and then the darkness is corrected. Correct error automatically.
It's quite amazing because it's really related to the conversation we just had, the expression we just had before that.
Yeah. Well, it's not amazing. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's aligned. It's synchronistic.
Synchronicity. Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens.
Very aligned.
Yeah. That's how this teaching works.
Ollie.
Hello.
Hello, doggy.
He's waiting for his dinner.
Right.
What have I missed much? I'm ever so sorry.
No. We just started. We were just
Oh,
doing a
that's
little.
okay. Can you just?
Rory's doing a little share. Yeah.
That sounds good. What you've just said. So I just wondered what I missed. What have I missed a paragraph then, or?
No. We just did a share. Aurelie
Sorry.
Aurelie was
Yeah.
sharing before you joined. So yeah, she was just sharing
okay.
about it.
I did my late expression session.
Oh, right. That's okay. That's
The
okay.
belated. I
Yeah.
No, but
loved
when-
you sharing, though, by the way. It was amazing. I loved everything that everyone shared today. It was really beautiful. It was really great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a great share.
Mm.
Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's good to record them. Yeah, it's not publicly available. That's good. So yeah, any thoughts on that, Christine? Can you give a little summary? What's he saying in that paragraph, really, to summarize?
Well, basically, you have to literally be aware of the errors as they come up and make the distinction between how much is coming from your head and from your heart. And the more you connect with spirit and the heart stuff, the darkness and the errors will disappear.
Great, love it. So so what we're going to do, we do the executive summary as we go. So say that again.
The more you bring the errors and darkness, fear and doubt into light, and see the distinction between your head stuff and your heart stuff, the more you connect with spirit through the heart and make the corrections, so the errors and darkness will disappear.
Right.
Something like that.
More I bring the errors of fear and doubt and light of my true awareness. Which is my heart, which I can access through my heart. More errors
And darkness.
disappear, and you said
You
something
said
else?
something else. And the errors
All the errors and darkness will
and
disappear.
darkness. Mm.
The errors or darkness.
Mm.
Darkness will disappear, and anything else, reveal the light, maybe. And
That passeth all understanding.
yeah, and bring the peace of love that passes all understanding. Okay.
Okay, I
So
better,
there we've got a little executive summary there of that paragraph. Well done.
can I push off now? Otherwise I'm going to miss the next meeting.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thanks for doing that. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
And
Have a lovely evening.
Bye, Christine.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So second one. Let's read paragraph 2. 1, 2. There we go. Short one. So Susie, you want to read paragraph 2 for us? Just
True
read
denial.
line by line and then read the
Oh,
alternative.
okay.
Yeah, so-
True denial is powerful protective device. True denial is a powerful protective device. You can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. You can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. This kind of denial is not a concealment, but a correction. This kind of denial is not a concealment, but a correction.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not
You're
not
right.
denying.
Yeah.
Not denying. To conceal would be like repress, suppress. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know, and I don't want to look at my ego.
Mm.
But the kind of denial he's talking about is I'm aware of it, it's arising, but then I deny it once it's conscious. So it's different.
Yeah, I
You
think
bring
that's
it
where
into awareness.
I think that's where my errors have been, to be fair, because now I've noticed, especially since this morning, how I entertain it by, I think I'm not answering it, but I am. When really I need to just deny it and just let it go. I
Right.
get into
If it comes
conversation.
up into awareness and you're aware of the darkness in whatever form it takes, that's the time to deny it and say no. No, this isn't correct. This is not true. This is not what I choose. It's not serving me.
Do you actually say that out loud then, or do you just saying it in your head, or
You can say it out loud if you want, if that helps.
Yeah.
But it's an inner dialogue. No, this doesn't serve me. Okay. So I need to let it go. And then you could use the lesson of the day to let it go. You could do a little meditation, a breath break. If it's something more deep-seated, you might do an instrument for peace worksheet. You can use the 10-step letting go process, which we're going to cover later this week in the course. So, there's many tools that and then actualize that intention, but it's an intention in the end. The correction is, okay, I choose to let this go. I don't want this. That's where it starts. And then the mechanism of the letting go will follow from that decision.
I don't understand why it says you can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. Oh, because it's basically showing you, or it's helping you see or learn, no? Or to make the correction. It's making you see to make the correction. Is that what that means? The number 2?
Can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. If error can hurt you, then that means that it's real. The errors must be real if it can hurt you.
But why does it say you should deny the belief? I'm not getting this.
Well, so you believe that error can hurt you. This is the ego's belief. It's made itself real in your mind. So you must deny that belief, because that's how the ego perpetuates itself, through that belief in your mind. Can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. Because if there's hurt, as he points out at the beginning here, if something can hurt you, then you're giving it power over you, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're giving it the power to hurt you. You're saying you must deny that, because your true self cannot be hurt. It's invulnerable. Only the ego mind attached to the body can be hurt. So the idea of hurt and pain is an ego concept.
Okay.
Okay, so we must face it when we see that belief. I feel fearful. You must say no. No, I cannot be hurt. I'm invulnerable. Okay, I'm going to carry on, Susie. Your right mind depends on it.
I've lost myself now because I'm on my phone. Hold on a minute. You can ensure this kind of denial is not your right mind depends on it. Have I done it? It's a question of what it is for. That's number 3, isn't it? Sorry, where did you say number 4?
No, it's number 3. Your right mind depends on it, and then that's number 4, and then number 5 is denial of error.
Everyone defends his treasure and will do so automatically.
No, we have your right mind depends on it.
It's because I'm on my phone. So sorry.
Denial of error is a strong defense of the truth.
Right, I've got to move you now a minute, Jono, because you're in my way. Hold on.
Okay.
Denial of error is a strong defense of truth, but denial of truth results in miscreation, the projection of the ego. Denial of error is a strong defense of truth, but denial of truth results in miscreation, the projections of the ego.
Does that make sense? Miscreation, if you deny the truth, you've denied who you are. Now you've got a false self going on, a false belief, and that must be projected out, saying you're either going to extend or project. That's inevitable. The mind does that. And that's going to be projections of the ego, or do you remember how we translate ego?
No.
It's the belief in separation. That's all the ego is. So it's the projections of a false belief in separation. Which is entrenched in your mind as your own separated self-concept. Right? That belief in separation takes form in your mind as a separate self. Okay, is that clear? Understand why I'm saying denial of error is a strong defense of truth.
It's kind of hitting me quite hard because this is what I can see that's been played out. You know, it's been a lot of resistance. There's been a lot of like stubbornness, and you can see it now.
And already for you, you know, it's the denial of error, it's the defense of the truth. So when you see the error and you're tempted to believe the error and think that it can hurt you, then to defend the truth, you must deny it. You must say, no, this is false. This cannot hurt me.
Deny what?
You must deny the error. So you see the error in the mirror that is the world, and your mom's doing whatever she's doing, and projecting all kinds of hateful attack thoughts on you or whatever. You must deny that, because that's the defense of the truth. If you believe it, then you've denied the truth. But denial of truth results in miscreation, the projections of the ego.
That's right. Yeah, I get that.
And then you'll get pulled into the same cycle of miscreation and projection as she's in, and you don't want to do that because it's hell. Ego wants you play that game. So denial of the error, as the error is shown to you, even as the error has been made, she's making an error. Your denial of it is transforming it. on helping you to stay connected to your true self, which is unshakable. It's invulnerable to these kinds of attacks because it realizes that the truth is true, and it doesn't matter what the ego does, the truth will remain. It's not the truth cannot be attacked because it's not physical.
Yeah, but now I found out that it's actually this behavior and crazy stuff is coming also from this, what I was telling you, I think the medical pills, those sleeping tablets or whatever.
Yeah, but that's not really, it's the ego. You know, the pills.
Well, yeah,
what
it is the
pills
ego
do-
regardless, because that's been going on for years, and even without those.
What the pills do is they open a channel in that person's mind for the ego to come in more strongly.
It definitely comes more strongly, that's for sure, I confirm.
That's, you know, spiritually, that's what's going on. So those pills are, you know, are the agents allow the hijacking of the ego, of the mind by the ego.
Yeah, it's hijacking the mind,
possession.
for sure.
Yeah, so that, you know, stay away from anything like that because it's giving away your power of choice and allowing the ego just to come in and run the show.
No, but I cannot decide for people, you know. I cannot decide for her whether she thinks it's...
No, but you can decide for yourself. You know, never go that route. It's
no,
it's,
absolutely.
not a, you know, to give away your power to that extent and say, okay, I'm going to take these chemicals and I have no idea what effect they're going to have. I'm going to open my mind then to all kinds of energies because my natural ability to defend, you know, at the atonement is the defense of truth, what he's talking about. My natural ability to defend by denying and consciously saying no is then, you know, those drugs mean that ability is taken away. Your power of choice is denied, and the ego just then goes, oh, great, there's no opposition here. I'll just come in and I'm going to run the show now, because the spirit has been so suppressed by the drugs. And if you recall, I don't know if you saw Matrix 4. You probably didn't know.
No, I told you I watched the first 3 one. I mean,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I'll watch it because I kind of like it. I mean,
there's always some interesting stuff. I watched them because
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
it's not on the same level as the first, but
yeah,
in the fourth one,
Yeah.
Neo's back in the Matrix. So if you remember how the third one ends, he's gone into the light. He's had his epic confrontation with Smith, and then the Matrix has rebooted because of his intervention. And the last scene is he goes into the light, and you go, well, what's actually happened? You know, but he's back in the machine city. So the fourth one, they put him back in the Matrix. They reinsert him into the Matrix, and he's living again as Thomas Anderson. He's now a programmer for a software game that's programming the Matrix. He's actually the programmer of the game.
wow.
He's built a game called the Matrix, and he's the inventor of the game. And so they're kind of messing with his mind and going, was that all just in your mind? You know, did it actually happen? Or was it all just, you know, you got so into your game that, you know, and
So
he's
they
on
want to mess
pills.
up with your mind then in the fourth one also in that case.
Yeah, and he's on pills. They put him onto medication.
Oh my
So he's
God.
taking these blue pills, and the architect, if you remember the architect character, has
the Matrix.
changed. The architect is now a psychiatrist. So the psychiatrist is actually the analyst, they call him. He's the one who's manipulating because he's like, oh, well, it's actually all about controlling people's minds. He says, it's great. You know, we want people's emotional reactions. It's quite profound. He says, we like, you know, the more pain and suffering that we give people, the more energy they give us. Because remember, it's all about extracting energy from the bodies.
Yeah.
The more we do this, the more energy they produce, and the more it feeds the Matrix.
But you know what I've noticed as well? I don't know. I think it was in the second one as well. In the second one, it's interesting because they're supposed to be in their true selves, right? Like powerful and in their truth. But yet they project fear. Because I remember they talk about fear. They are fearful of losing each other. So they're talking about being fearful. They have fears. So how can they be fearful and have fears if they are really in their true selves? That's
because they're not fully there, are they?
Exactly.
They haven't awakened fully.
Exactly.
You know?
But they're supposed to be in the truth since they took the
but you know, that doesn't mean the ego is completely gone. It continues outside, you know.
That shows you,
They
yeah, I
free
wasn't gone
themselves from one
completely.
level, but they're not fully free.
Yeah,
Neo is the one. He's the one because he no longer has any fear.
yeah, yeah,
But even he, towards the end, I think he fears, he fears losing Trinity. He
exactly.
sees that he has the dream. So it just shows, it's like another level. He's got to undo another layer of programming.
Attachment, relationship attachment.
Yeah, relationship attachment. Yeah.
That's a tough
to
one.
totally free his
That's
mind.
a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Special relationship versus
Yeah. Yeah, that
versus
was
the
special
old.
relationship. That scene where this woman wants Neo to kiss her in front of Trinity.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She's testing Trinity's boundaries there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it shows how she reacts.
Yeah. So these themes are in there: special relationship versus holy relationship. And Neo does what he has to do. He's like, okay, well, if I've got to do that to serve the goal, the higher, what our mission, then I must do that.
Yeah.
And Trinity's just got to deal with her feelings of jealousy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, some interesting themes that come up in the second one. So it's still worth watching. They're not on the same level as the first one, but it's going to be very difficult. How would they have made a second movie that's a sequel like on the same level as the first one? They couldn't, because the original idea is out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. So it'll be quite difficult to follow that up. Okay. So does that make sense to both of you? It's the denial of the error is the defense of truth. So you must deny. Remember, the ego is the denial of truth. The belief in separation is the denial of the truth of oneness. So you must deny the denial to get back to the truth. That's what we're doing. We must deny the denial to get back to the truth.
Deny the denial. That's a lot of denying.
No, deny the denial of truth to get back to the truth.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to do it. So that's why, in the face of whatever the ego is showing you, you deny it. You say, because it's not true. It's just a false idea. And that's all we're being asked to do. Or, it's a total reversal of your thought system. That's what he's asking for. So what's being shown to you then isn't true. It's all false. Wow, it's pretty radical. But thank goodness it's all false. Imagine if this kind of hatred and attack and anger and all of this insanity was true. If that was true, then we'd be stuck in it. Then that would be the truth, and there's no way out. It would be like this is living in this hellish existence with all of this would be the truth, and there would be no escape.
There's a lot of fear as well that came up, a lot of fear, like traumatic fears from trauma, like childhood trauma, where she actually opened up once about sharing something that happened when she was younger at school. And it was quite a trauma, actually, that her teacher locked her in a cupboard or something.
Really? Wow.
So it was quite traumatic, and I think she hasn't really let go or released it, because she never learned about that, how to release this kind of trauma, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So at least she brought it up in one healing session. Actually, in some healing sessions I did with her, that came up to be released but still there's still a lot of fear around that, I think.
Yeah. So fear comes from trauma. The more you've been traumatized in the past, the more the mind goes, oh, it's going to be, the same or worse in the future. So now I have the fear. And so you got to go into the conditioning to undo that.
But then that medical drug that she's taking is making it's creating this paranoia about hearing noises and voices and slapping and hearing like these weird stuff, like sound or voices. So it's like hallucination. Hallucination.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's supposed to be about healing the mind, but they're actually taking you into
worsen it.
No, it's crazy. But that's, you know, that's the ego's healing is not healing. The ego's healing is destructive.
But at least I brought awareness to her about that. So at least now she's got the awareness of the effects of it. She knows, and she knows because I actually spoke to her about it openly this morning and mentioned, you know, the drugs they give at the psychiatric hospital, you know, the medical drugs they give to numb them and make them zombie, and they walk around in this town like zombies. You can see them; they're completely zoned out. Like you were talking about zoomed out, but they're zoned out.
Yeah.
They're completely zoned out, like in like in a very like zombie, like zombie like with a
there's no true awareness. See,
walking attitude, like walking, like you can see they're not in their normal state. There's something going on there with their mind. And you can see the medicine they give them is it's some another level.
Yeah, those chemicals.
Chemicals.
So it's mind control. You know, this is the whole psychiatric system is a system of mind control using chemicals to enslave the mind into the ego's service and you know, stay well away.
So at least I brought that awareness, and she knows because she's seen it as well. You know, she's seen all these patients with the way they are. So she knows the effects, but she still takes it,
taking it. Well, what can you do?
Nothing. I cannot do nothing but bring awareness and the truth, you know.
Yeah. Okay, in the service of the right mind.
Pure formless awareness of perfect love. Be there. Sorry.
In the service of the right mind, the denial of error frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of the will. In the service,
translation.
In the service of the right mind, the denial of error frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of the will.
Reestablishes the freedom of the will of maybe awareness, of true awareness. Yeah, happy with that translation. Establishes the freedom of true awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So when the will is really free, you want to read that in the original?
When the will is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. When awareness is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth.
Recognizes only truth. Okay. So our true awareness only recognizes truth, which means if it only recognizes truth, it must deny the error. See, it's logical. You can't accept error and only recognize the truth.
But can you ignore it? Are you ignoring it, or are you just saying no to it, or what?
No, I mean, by saying you must deny the error. Well, there's a recognition there that the error will be in your mind. There'll be some awareness of the error.
Oh,
otherwise
yeah,
you couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
So it's making the errors conscious. We must bring the darkness to the light of our true awareness. Make it conscious, but then don't believe in it. Just look at it from this place of higher awareness and go, okay, well, I can see that and I can experience it. I can think the thoughts, I can feel it, but the awareness tells you this is an error. This is a mistake. So I must deny it. It's not true. Okay, well, if it's not true, why am I thinking the thoughts and feeling those feelings? That's not true. I'm thinking and feeling about an illusion. It's not even really there. I must be hallucinating.
Mm.
And so that's the kind of conscious denial that is what forgiveness or letting go is about.
Mm.
Consciously being aware of the error and then denying it and saying, no, this error isn't true, it isn't real. No, I can let this go. And then you blow it out and you go, okay, I'm letting that go, denying it. So I don't need to think those thoughts. I don't need to feel the feelings. I can let them go. I can dissipate them. And then just that decision, you make that decision. This doesn't serve me. I want to let this go. That's a huge part of it.
Mm.
You made it conscious and chosen. And, the ego might stick around a while. You might still find some of those feelings there. But every time you feel them and you think them, you go, no, I'm denying this. It's not true. This is a
But how can the
misperception.
denial of error freeze the mind? I don't get that. It's so weird. How can the denial of error freeze the mind?
Oh, because you're denying what's false. You're denying the whole mechanism of illusion.
Exactly. So how can it free the mind then if you are feeding the illusion?
No, denial of the error. Do you understand what denial means? Denial means I deny it. I say it's not true. The error isn't true. That's what I'm saying when I deny it.
Yeah. So if the error is not true, how can it free the mind?
Well, because then what's left is the truth. Do you not see that? So you've got truth and illusion. You've got the error on the one hand, and that's the whole thought system that the ego's miscreated, which covers over the truth. You must deny the error in all of its forms. If you do that successfully, then what's revealed is what remains, the truth, which is your true awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love. Because the error just is a veil of illusion. It covers over the truth.
For me, it doesn't make sense to the denial of error frees the mind. I would say it's the acceptance of error that frees the mind.
No. How's acceptance of the error going to free the mind?
It frees your mind.
How? I mean, it's a two-step process. So maybe let's clarify this. It's an important point. It's a two-step process. You must temporarily acknowledge it to deny it. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You don't repress it. You don't go, oh, I'm just not going to look at this. It's like, okay, so let's bring it into conscious awareness. And up it comes, and you go, okay, I see there's fear there. Or I see there's anger, or whatever the thought and the emotion is. And you dwell on it briefly, okay, so I can experience that. And they're the thoughts, they're the emotions, I'm aware of them. But my higher awareness, the Holy Spirit, recognizes that all of that is an error. It's false. So then I consciously, from this true awareness, I consciously deny it. So no, this whole thought, emotion program that's going on is not true. So why am I going to continue thinking these thoughts and feeling these feelings if they're not true? They're based on untruth. It's all a lie.
Mm.
So you're bringing the truth into the illusion. Bringing the illusions to the truth, and then the truth dissipates them. The truth says no, only the truth is true, which means logically that the error must be false, which means that you've denied the error. If you realize that, then you've denied the error, which frees the mind to become aware of the truth again, because the error was just covering over the truth. It was the replacement for the truth. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, otherwise you're chasing your tail, ain't you? Like a dog.
Well, if you accept, this is why the letting go is important. If you just accept error, some people say awareness is enough to transmute it. And I would disagree. I think you've got to bring it into awareness, step one. But if you're aware of it and those thoughts and emotions carry on, it's not going to free you. You're just going to keep being aware of them. You must let them go. So that's the second step. It's a conscious choice to let them go, which is the denial of the error. Letting go denies the error. No, that's not true. So I can let go of that thought and I can let go of that feeling because it's not true.
If you say the letting go of the error frees the mind, then I would agree with that.
Yeah, but letting go is the denial of the error. It's the same thing.
Really? Does it
Yeah.
doesn't seem the same
Well, when
meaning?
you let go of the error, what are you saying? You're saying, no, it's not really, the error isn't true. The error is not real.
Yeah.
But it does
I'll let
sound
go of it,
complex.
and I'm denying it. I'm denying its existence in the letting go of it. Do you see?
Hmm.
I'm not accepting it as a reality. I'm letting it go. I'm saying, no, this
The
is not-
letting go of the error frees the mind. Yeah, that would make more sense to me. It will be clear, but maybe it's because I'm French and I don't understand everything. Like maybe it's that the English, the way it's written, or the understanding behind it.
it's denial. Yeah. Do you understand what denial means?
Yeah, but not in that sentence. Not in that context. I cannot make sense of it in that context.
Denial of error. So it denies the error. It says the error that seems to be there isn't true. That's what denial means. It's not really there. The error is not true. It's not real. And so that's going to free the mind, because the error is what's enslaving the mind. So it's another way. It's giving us another perspective on letting go. You know, letting go is denial of the error, which will free the mind and reestablish the freedom of true awareness. Because if you let go of error, then what will remain is the truth, your true awareness. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I get that end part, the end part, but
Right.
it's just the word I need to get around that word.
Denial. Denial of error.
Yeah.
Service of the right mind. So why don't we say service of the right mind, the denial or letting go of error. Yeah, does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Because that's what denial means. You must let it go. When you deny the error, you are letting it go. When you let it go, you must be denying it.
Yeah.
Frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of true awareness. And so what remains, if you let go of error, then what remains must be the truth, because there's only two alternatives. Okay? When awareness is really free, cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. I'll just copy and paste that. Stick that down here. So we've got a little summary. So do you want to summarize that paragraph, Susie? What's he saying?
I think you two could do it better than me.
Probably, but the point is it's your own learning.
Yeah.
So
you know, to me, it's really important that we deny the errors, and the correction will come with the awareness, and you know, not to it is about denying and just sticking to the truth of awareness. But it's like you just said something about the transcend, and I thought that would be nice to put in there, because you can actually just be aware of it and think that's enough. But hold on a minute, you've got to finish off that correction by totally denying it, because it's not the truth.
Yeah, and that's what I would say distinguishes the course from some other parts. There's parts that say awareness is enough. Just come into awareness, and then that's enough. But you must have the idea very clearly of what's true and what's not in order to then do something about what you're aware of. See, awareness. Let's say you had an awareness of things. You're quite aware, and but you don't have a clear understanding of what's true and what's not. So now something comes into awareness. Let's say it's some anger or fear or something. And without this thought system to guide you, how would you let it go? What are you going to do with it? Because it's all in that awareness. Some people will say, but it's all true. You're just aware of it, and it's arising, and it's all happening for a reason, and it's all true. So then what do you do? How do you correct anything? You can't. You're aware of it, but there's no logical thought system to help you make a distinction. Awareness can lead you to the discernment, making the distinction between what's true and what's not, which can then lead you to let go of one and keep the other. And so that's what the Course does. You know, the forgiveness or letting go is, yes, we must have awareness of things coming into awareness, but then there's a thought system that interprets that evaluates it and says, okay, well, what's true and what's not? And so now I judge things according to the ultimate truth or the illusion. And he's training us in that awareness to know what is true and what is not. Is a key part of the mind training, because then you can bring that awareness into whatever you've become aware of, and you can now evaluate correctly. You can say, yes, that whatever that thought emotion is, that's correct, that's true, I'll keep that, or no, that's actually not true, it's false, it's not serving me, I'll let that go. And then that allows the next step, which is the letting go. So just awareness is not enough. You know, there's a school of so-called non-duality where they say, well, just be aware of everything, and that's enough. Just go into awareness and you're aware of everything, and it's all God, right? You've heard that, probably that idea. Everything's God. Everything's God. So
you are right.
God is in the death. God is in life. God is in suffering. God is in, it's all. But it doesn't. That teaching doesn't make sense, because you have the fundamental split then between love and fear in the mind still, and you're saying they're the same. Oh, well, it's all of God, right? Then God is a dualistic God. It's all God, and therefore in that conception, in that philosophy, you're stuck here. This is reality then. You're stuck in a dualistic reality where you have the light and the dark, and it's all part of God because God's now dualistic, and there's no ability to choose one or the other. Both are equally real. If you can't deny the error, then both are equally real, and well, you're stuck in trying to figure that out and make sense of that. Well, why would a loving God then create the darkness? And you somehow have to justify that and find a way to justify what's not justifiable. So this is key. You must deny the error, because otherwise you're in duality. Otherwise you accept the error, and then you're also trying to accept the truth. But they contradict each other. I accept God is only love, but then there's also fear and anger and hatred and attack and death and all the shit that goes on in this world. So which is true then? God is love, or God is insane? And actually it's all about pain and suffering and sickness and death. Which of those is true? Also saying, only one of them is true. And that's our choice. Our remaining power, our remaining freedom in this world is that only one of them is true. And you must choose which one is true.
So in French, they translated the denying of the error, they translated like refusing the error.
Yeah.
That's Google Translate.
Yeah. You refuse it. So does that make sense? You refuse to acknowledge its existence. You're saying, no, the error isn't correct.
Yeah.
I refuse. So I will not think those thoughts. I will not feel those feelings, because it's false.
Yes.
If I believe that, then I'm in a false belief system, and that is not going to serve me. I'm going to suffer because of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh.
I was going to say, you probably need to do another channel, John, but have a role play where we can play these things out, because I think that would be really good for people to understand in that way, because it is difficult to understand, isn't it? I mean, not that we're supposed to understand it all, but how you've just said that made a lot more sense.
But that's what they do in family constellations. They have people representing people, like your family members, for example, and they act out your situation. So let's say you have a situation you need solving or you need to resolve. And then the characters represent family member. They act out as this person, and you can actually feel it. It's crazy, but you can actually feel what the person is feeling, what the family member is feeling, or what the person that's doing the, I mean, dealing with the issue is also feeling or what everybody, like you can see, it gives you clarity on what's happening and what are the members really feeling in the issue or in the situation. It's quite powerful as well to see that.
It is powerful because it's been used in NLP as well as counselling, and there's other places that do it, but not everybody wants to do it, do they? If you're there, it's great.
We see what the ego tries to do is it says, don't bring it into awareness.
Yeah.
Don't bring up the stuff. It's too painful. I don't want to look at the dark emotions and thoughts because it's too painful. So if we look at there's this I think we've got an instrument for peace here. Perception, emotion. I don't want to go into the emotional level because it's too painful. So I repress it. I'm not, see, that's what he says, not concealing. Like, no, bring it up into awareness, acknowledges, okay, I'm willing to feel these feelings. It's you know, and it's not pleasant if they deep, dark feelings. And I'm willing to feel them, but then I will apply the correction. I will then say in my mind, no, this is not true. It's part of a belief system that is untrue, based on an idea of separation, that I'm a separate self. So you then track the emotion down to thoughts and belief, and you collapse it at the belief level and say that belief is not true. The only way I can get myself free of a false belief is to deny it. That's the only way. You must say in your mind, no, that belief is not true.
And if you cancel the belief, does it cancel the emotion?
Yes, that's the whole point.
Oh, that's cool.
You see? But that's how the miracle works.
I've had a few of those.
Belief out.
I was going to say I've had a few of those sessions with Johnny. They're very good. If you tap into me, your beliefs, it's really good to do it with somebody, and he'll he's really
that's what we're doing in this course. You know, the miracle is get down to the level of core belief, see what the core belief is.
Yes.
And if you can undo that, you can deny that core belief, then the thoughts that come from the core belief are also undone, and so are the emotions. And the perceptions that come from the belief, thoughts, and emotion at the top level are changed. They have to be, because what's generating those perceptions is a belief system. This is a system of belief that's demonstrated.
But it's mainly the separation of self, mainly the belief, the main belief. So the separation of who you truly are.
Yeah. So behind, let's say you have a core belief that I'm unlovable. Behind that is the desire of the ego to be a separate self.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm unlovable because what does that do? It disconnects me from everyone else. I'm now my own self, and I want to be separate. I want to be an individual self. So the unlovability suits me because it gives me an identity. Even though it's dysfunctional and I suffer, I would rather have the separate self than let go of the separate self and be one self and be done with all that suffering. See? So that's what it comes down to. At the core level, do I desire to be a separate self, or do I desire oneself, to be oneself? Am I willing to let go of separation and collapse my entire ego identity, or not? That's where the miracle takes us. So you make that choice, then your belief. If I choose to be oneself, I cannot believe that I'm unlovable anymore. It's not possible, because I'm one with my source. How can I be unlovable? The love is there. I can experience it. I can feel it. So I can't be unlovable if I'm experiencing the love of my source, the love of God. So the thought that I'm unlovable, and then all of the ego games that play, oh, well, I'm unlovable, so I'm going to try and get special love, and I'm going to try and play manipulative games to get what I want, and da-da-da. Well, that all goes. And the feelings of being a victim, oh, poor me, everyone's hurting me, and I'm unlovable and unworthy, and all of those emotions must go, because it's not true anymore. You know from your experience, and now your new belief is, no, I am love. I am that presence. I am what I thought I was lacking. So all of it then transforms. But you must, what he's saying here is, you must deny the error, which is the denial of truth. in all of its forms. So you must deny the perceptions, and then the emotions that come from the error, and then you deny the thoughts, and then you deny the belief. And if you can deny that core belief, what's left? Nothing. You know, what's left is your true awareness. Okay, so done a little translation there and a little summary. So page up. Let's go to number 3. Happy to move on to number 3?
Yeah.
Okay, Aurelie, if you can read line by line, you can defend truth as well as error.
You can defend truth as well as error. The means, well, you can defend truth as well as error, so that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The means are easier to understand after the value of the goal is firmly established.
Okay. So the means are easier to understand.
The means are easier to understand after the value of the goal is firmly established.
Yeah, does that make sense?
The means.
So the means of this defense are easier to understand once the value of the goal is firmly established in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want the truth. The reason
Mm.
the value of the goal is it's priceless. It's beyond measure. You know, if I establish that in my mind, then the means will become easier to understand. And then he says it's a question of what it is for. Okay, so what is everything for?
It's a question of what it's for. It is for. It is a question of what it is for.
Yeah. Well, maybe we say the real question.
Yeah. Is.
The real question
Is.
is.
What is it for?
What is it for? Yeah.
Yep. You want to defend the truth or the error?
Yeah. So what is it for? Why am I defending the truth then? So what is that for? Why am I defending the truth? That's what he's saying. Okay, everyone defends his treasure.
Everyone defends his treasure and will do so automatically. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everyone defends its treasure, whatever the treasure is.
Well, the treasure is what you value. Everyone defends
what you value then.
What she values. Everyone defends what they value.
What they value. They value.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we have conflict. I value something, so I'll defend it. I think it's threatened.
Yeah.
Then I'll defend it because I put a value on it. If I didn't think it was valuable, why would I bother defending it? And we'll do so automatically. So the value is critical. Then, you know, if I value something, then I'll defend it automatically.
I defend the truth and my mom defends the ego. Yeah, I want the truth to come out.
Yeah. So and that's about what you value.
Yeah, it is.
The real questions are. Okay. So that the real questions are.
And she always say, "You're right," but I always say it's not about being right; it's about being happy.
Oh. It is.
Be happy.
Yeah, but you'll only be happy if you follow the truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you let go of the
ego
and the errors,
with the truth, then you're correct, then you're right.
Sorry?
And if you're following the truth genuinely, you know, and you're standing in that truth and you're letting the truth guide your thoughts and your words and your actions, then you're right. You're in your right mind. You're correct.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you let go
must
of the
alter that.
ego or the errors, yeah. The
Okay, so
error.
your questions are,
I need to also let go probably of some more errors,
yeah,
maybe.
well, that's, yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you'd be perfectly enlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, the errors are there only because there's still a subconscious valuing of them.
Still work to be done.
No, but that's okay. It's a work in progress. You just keep working at it.
Mm.
It's the rest of your, the rest of your life. This is the work.
Yeah, I
The
got 40,
questions
50
are,
years to go, maybe.
yeah, but that's enough time to become enlightened, to really clean the mind. If you do this systematic progressive mind training and undoing of the ego mind for the next 40 years, then yeah, why not? You could have totally collapsed the ego. Possible. What else are you going to do with your life? Is there
Nothing
anything
else.
in the way?
I got nothing else to do.
No, exactly. There isn't anything else to do. So that, and that's the purpose of your life. You came
Yeah,
here to learn. So that
absolutely.
you go, oh, that's a long time, 40 years. Okay, yeah, well, what else are you going to do with your life? You're going to be
I
here.
gotta have a day job, remember?
You could have a day job. Yeah, you could do all kinds of things.
Remember, I have to have a day job 9 to
Yeah.
5 and a boring
Yeah.
job that I hate, that I don't enjoy, and not be in my truth.
To survive in the matrix, to earn the money you need to survive. But are you really awakening? That's the question. Are you really fulfilling your true purpose in
Yeah.
doing that?
You're
I
not
suppose
aligned if you're not doing what you're meant to be doing.
you could do you can do it anyway because the job will give you lessons.
Yes.
But I think there's a path for all of us.
Well, I've already learned those lessons as well. A lot of lessons. But there's always more to learn. Always.
The spirit will direct you. Remember, it wants you to be a channel for it. So it's going to try and direct you to do its work. You are useful. If you come to the light, you are a useful channel for light or true awareness to come into the world. And it wants to use the channels that are available to do that. So it will inspire you to do things. And that is probably not going to be a day job. I can't say that categorically.
No, I'm just joking anyway. It doesn't matter because when you work, you work 9 to 5, or you can work any hour. I think it's just, I just heard so many coaches talk about this because they criticize this 9 to 5. I'm not judging it. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that actually, even doing your enlightened path, or being on the enlightened path, or a spiritual teacher, you can also work 9 to 5. I mean, it doesn't. There's but you're more timeless, because that's what it's about. It's not about being if you're pure formless awareness, then you're not really in the time and space. You're more in the present moment, right? So you're not or you're not really like time what's the word, like stressed by time.
Yeah, I mean, what this does, I mean, it takes you out of those the thought system that has created those kinds of structures, corporate structures and jobs and that whole system. It's a thought system, right? It's a product of a thought system that we see. And as you remove yourself from that, you're freeing your mind. The projection of the thought system it doesn't resonate anymore. It's not at the same level.
It doesn't resonate. No.
Doesn't resonate. So then, you're called to be integral, to live an integral life. You must have the levels and the quadrants in alignment.
Yeah.
If we have a look at integral model here, your external reality should be in integrity, in alignment with your internal subjective reality. So you've got a boring job with a boss who's a petty tyrant, and you're not really doing anything of true value, really. But you're awakening spiritually. There's going to be a contradiction there. That's going to cause a dissonance, cognitive dissonance, they call it. It's like, okay, it's not in alignment. So something's got to change in order to bring it into alignment. What's going to change? Well, if I'm really awakening, I know this to be true. I know that my internal eye subjective experience is, I'm going more into the truth. It's awakening. It feels amazing. Now, my external world needs to mirror that. I need to get that into alignment. So to get it in alignment, you can't go into an egoic system and go, okay, well, I'll try and, make that work. You've got to find a way. And so this is then your inspired purpose. Okay, so find a way to live this, find a way to express this and teach it. And maybe if you add a lot of value, you can make a living from it because people will pay for that. What you offer, if you can connect people with their true self, that is the greatest service you can do for them. That's completely life-changing, transformational.
Yeah.
And there's a market for that. There's many people looking for that and opened it. So, can you find a way then to make your calling into your livelihood and integrate those quadrants? And that's the task. And it is possible. I'm in the process of doing it. I have to say it's been the hardest thing I've ever done. Like,
I can understand that.
It's really tested me because the systems shouldn't allow it. It's not, you don't just fall into something, oh, there we go, it's easy. It's like you've got to create your own pathway and you've got to find a way.
Yeah.
But that is your own hero's journey to do that. And then in the doing of that, you overcome the ego continuously and you awaken yourself. So it's part of then your hero's journey of awakening. I speak from experience. Like if I hadn't done this Art of Letting Go course and program over the last 4 years, what would I have done? That's the question. What would I have done else? Well, I would have had to try and find a way to earn a living doing something that I wasn't really that passionate about, which I'd been doing, in the preceding years for a few years, and it didn't really serve. I was like, I'm not, there's a misalignment. I know it's not in alignment.
And you started teaching the art of letting go since a year or this year or?
No, this is nearly a 5-year program that I've been doing this.
Oh, you've been teaching this for 5 years.
Yeah, I started I ran a beta course. The first Art of Letting Go course was in 2018.
Okay.
September 2018. So 4.5 years, roughly, ago. And then, that was, I wanted to test it. Does this work? And, it did work quite well. I added a lot of value to people. And then it was like, okay, let's, I want to develop this and grow it and develop it into a 1-year program. And so then, over the 5 years, that's what I've done. It's iterations of it. It's improving it. The content you're getting now is a product of 5 years.
Wow. But did you charge at the beginning when you started teaching it?
No, the beta course, I didn't. I was like, well, I don't, I read a book called Expert Secrets by a guy called Russell Brunson, who's an internet marketing guru in the States. And he said, this is how you do it. You want to build it, do it as a free thing. It's a beta course. You got to get people on board. You got to get them signed up to your program, get them to try it. It's over 6 weeks. And then you get the result. Then you can see, okay, this works. You get feedback, you get testimonials. Then you've got something you can market.
No, I did that as well. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how it started. And then, I started charging, not very much. I still don't charge. It's probably worth a lot more. But I wanted to build a community. It's like if I charge too much, initially, I won't build a community. I won't get people in and doing it and then build a base. So I've just been guided by the Spirit to say, okay, you're going to do this and this is the way it's going to work. And it's been an organic process. And, it's tested me a lot, but it's good because it's a lot of those false beliefs I've had to let go of. Oh, well, it's about the success and it's about making, hitting your targets and making X amount of revenue and getting so many people in and and it didn't follow that program. It's been organic and it's been guided by Spirit, which is kind of obvious. You would think up front I should have gone, well, of course it's not going to be guided by the ego, but you have to learn that experientially. If you're teaching the Spirit, you're teaching another way of living, then obviously the program itself must be guided by that same thought system.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happened. I've learned to accept that and surrender to it. I mean, like, okay, well, I'm just going to do what I need to do. Every day I get up and my job is to to facilitate the sessions and send out the content and, you know, be a good shepherd, really. I'm the shepherd of the community, and just guide it and, you know, facilitate an experience that's truly transformational for people. And
Yeah,
then
maybe
out
I
of
should
that-
run it free again a second time, or maybe even a third
Yeah,
time to get
maybe
used to
you
the
need to.
content, to get used to teaching it, I guess.
Yeah, and get the testimonials, and then you can scale it. Then you can go, okay, now I can charge, and you know, because I can prove the value, and I've got the testimonials.
No, I've
and-
got two great testimonials, but I don't know. I felt like I need to be maybe more confident with what I teach. I mean, I know I love what I teach in that it's called 9 Step to Inner Peace program. It's powerful. There's a lot of like balancing the mind body, actually balancing mind body spirit, and letting go or release as well, like process and but I bring in the elements of like freeing yourself or letting go, but through, like I told you before, the singing and the dancing, like a guide into different tools, different modalities that I enjoy.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's an audience for it. You just got to you know, find the way. I'll send you the link to go check it out. If you Google Expert Secrets, Russell Brunson, get that book. It was very helpful to me.
Expert Secrets.
Yeah, Expert Secrets it's called. Yeah, you'll find it. I think it's expertsecrets.com. You'll find it. It's all over. I mean, he's an internet marketing guru. So
and his name
once
is
you
what?
put that in, his name's Russell Brunson.
Yes.
At expertsecrets.com, and you know, I just bought the book and I applied it, and that's what got me started. I've since gone beyond, you know, it's still within the ego's thought system. I've gone beyond that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was really useful to get started. It was useful to go, okay, well, there's a starting point. I can do, if I follow this, you know, he's giving me a methodology to get this business started, and create a presentation, and, you know, all of that. It's basically, it walks you through how do you build an expert business from scratch, which is very helpful.
Yeah, I also have like PDFs and stuff from I've attended so many webinars as well, like around this topic, and I even had two coaches as well to help me guide me into it. But I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know.
Well, you have to do your own work, I guess. You know,
No, but it's weird that I guess because I was putting it on sale, but it's hard to sell to sell a program. Like I like this to be flowing naturally, not having to sell, you know.
Well, I mean, my experience of this one has been create, you know, huge value for people, and then people will refer their friends.
Yeah.
Naturally, you know, you get referrals. That's how the marketing happens.
But how many times did you do it for free at the beginning?
Once.
Okay.
Just once. No, the next one was paid.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't charge much. It was like £97. It wasn't huge, but
Yeah.
you know, that got people in, and then it was like, okay, well, then the second one was better, and you know, it's okay, so I can see this can work, and it's been an evolution to now where it's okay. Now there's, you know, I mean, I've got great testimonials. There's there's a core group. Hopefully, we'll continue on in the year, and then, you know, it'll radiate out. People will refer friends. I can do talks to people. Might look at some social media.
Yeah.
You know, but it's been an organic process over 5 years.
Yeah, for me, it's more the technical part that I need some support, like the technical part.
Well, speak to Yad. She's in the community. She does websites, and she's a techie.
No, but I'm saying to have the automated emails and, you know, like having like sales page, sales funnel, and the newsletters, or like
I can help you.
You know, the email marketing, stuff.
Oh, well, I know. There's systems that you can use. I can give you some guidance on that. You can do a one-on-one, and I can help you with that if you like.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, let's get back to the.
Yes, sorry, it was a bit diverging.
It's all part of it in the end. So in the service of the right mind, denial or letting go of error frees the mind and reestablishes the freedom of true awareness. When awareness is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. Okay, so that we've done a little summary of that. Let's go on to number 3. So you can defend
Yeah, so
Remember that?
everyone defends his treasure and will do so automatically. We were there at number 4, right? And the real questions are what? We did 4 already. Yeah.
No, I don't think we did. We did 3.
Oh, really?
Everyone defends. The real
Everyone
questions
defends
are-
what they value and will do so automatically. No, we did it. You changed the value, what they value.
Yeah, but we haven't done number 5. The real questions
No.
are.
The real questions are what do you treasure and how much do you treasure? Do you treasure it? Yes. So do you treasure
Yeah.
the ego or do you
Okay.
treasure the
We'll change treasure to value. What do you value?
yeah. Yeah.
And
What
how
do
much
you
do
value? Do
you-
you
how
value
much
the
do you
ego or
value
do
it?
you value your true self?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So it comes down to, your values. What do you value
Yeah.
in the end? So it's a values question.
Mm.
Miracle is choosing the correct value and saying, no, I value the truth over the illusion.
Yeah.
The illusion will give you a temporary, short-term seeming benefit, but the truth will give you the long-term sustainable value. It's going to bring you the happiness that you want. Okay, so once you've learned to consider these questions,
Once you've learned to consider these questions and to bring them into all your actions, you will have little difficulty in clarifying the means.
I think we
again-
should make that, instead of actions, decisions would be best,
Yeah.
don't you?
You've
All
learned to
your
consider
decisions.
these questions.
Because in the end, every decision is like, I value something over something else. It's all a question of values, isn't it?
Yeah, so you have to
Choice,
decide
okay,
or
well,
choose
what do I
which one.
value?
Mm,
Yeah, which one? My values are going to determine which one.
mm. Yeah. And the means are available whenever you ask.
Yeah.
So it's asking, is it asking for guidance as well?
Yeah,
In a way, for correcting the errors.
clarifying the means. Okay, so once I've chosen correctly and I value correctly, then the means will be shown to me. The means are available whenever you ask. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will be opened. And then he qualifies this by saying, number 8.
You can, however, save time if you do not
Retract.
You can save time if you do not protract this step unduly.
Yeah.
I don't know
Protract.
these words.
Yeah.
Protract and
Protract
unduly.
means like extend. It means you've extended the step unduly. Protract. Maybe we can translate that. However, you can save time if you do not extend the step, maybe unduly.
What does Google say for the French translation?
Protract. Yeah, it's always useful. Let's have a look. Google. Protract.
Prolonger, prolong.
Yeah, prolong. Okay, so that would be the best. Not extend.
Prolong.
Do not.
Yeah, it makes sense because we're talking about saving time. So you can save
Yeah.
time if you do not prolong this step.
Step unduly, yeah.
Unduly,
So
what is that?
same meaning, but prolongs maybe a clearer word. So prolong the
Unduly.
step unduly.
Too long.
Yeah, yeah. Unduly is it's not worth that. You do not
Too
prolong
much.
the step.
Too much or too long, yeah. It's talking about
prolong
time
the
for
step
too long.
for too long.
Yeah, that makes, yeah.
Prolong the step for too long. Okay. I think it's clearer in the translation.
Yeah.
The correct focus will shorten it immeasurably. Okay. So it's a question of what you value. You know, get very clear on what you value. And then the means of denying the error and accepting the truth, defending the truth, become clear. You know,
Yeah.
it's your choice.
And the correct focus will shorten it immeasurably.
No. And
Yeah.
so I value only love. My choice is I value only love.
Yeah.
In a situation, I value love and peace and joy. That's my true value system. That's what I value above all else. So if I focus on that, then that's a powerful defense of the truth.
Yeah.
If I abandon those and I go, no, actually, I value money more, I value some form outcome, then I prolong the step. I'm not denying the error. I'm accepting the error. See? So this will save a lot of time. If I focus my attention on what's true and I value only that, it's gonna really help me save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start to make these kinds of corrections. I'll be letting go of the errors and accepting the truth just more easily than I used to. My life will flow forward. It's Christine joining us again. Okay. So as a summary of this, how would you summarize this paragraph? It's all about values.
Yeah.
So I will choose what I value.
Yeah, that's what I'm writing actually. I choose what I value the most.
Right.
I choose what I value the most instead of my error. What I value the most, you can add pure formless awareness of perfect love. Or perfect love, or the truth. Yeah, truth. I choose the truth.
I choose the truth by what I value.
Yeah, I choose the truth by what I value.
So if I focus on correct focus, if I focus on valuing what is true and letting go
Of the error or errors, we can put
letting go of valuing what is false.
Of letting go of valuing what is false. Yeah.
I will save a lot of time, and I'll save myself.
Oh, yeah, I save a lot of time.
Save myself a lot of time.
Save myself a lot of time.
Needless
suffering. Yes.
Suffering. No.
That's a good one.
No, that's really what he's saying. So I value the truth, and this is the way I defend the truth, and I deny illusions. I value only the truth. I value what is true, love, peace, and joy, and I let go of valuing everything else. So money, status, possessions, special relationships, the list goes on and on. I'm letting that go, and I'm putting my focus on what I truly value, which saves me a lot of time because my decisions become clearer. Choose the truth by what I value, focus on valuing what is true and letting go of valuing what is false. My decisions will become easier, and I will save my when you have a very clear guide, clear thought system. Okay, I know what's true and what's false. It's a very clear guide in any situation.
Yeah.
What you should decide, isn't it? If you clearly understand the difference between truth and illusion, so then decision de cadere, you can cut away what's false.
Yeah.
Because you understand that that's false and you can let it go. If you don't understand the difference between truth and illusion, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't make proper decisions. Then you get confused. Then you think that illusions are true.
Yeah, you need the awareness.
Because illusion,
first.
you don't know. You're confused, and that's the state of mind of most people. They don't know the truth.
Yeah, so you need
Probably
the
less.
awareness first, John.
Yeah. So what he's building with us here is this awareness of what's true and what's illusion,
Yeah.
so that we can clearly distinguish, and that helps us immensely in making these kinds of decisions and choices that we need to make in our lives. Okay, so number 4, moving swiftly on. Let's ask Christine. Welcome back.
Sorry, what was the end of this key, the little key summary, the little summary?
Well, I'll send it to you, so don't worry, you'll get it. Our decisions will become easier, and I'll save myself a lot of time and needless suffering.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So the idea of the personalized executive summary is we make it very personal.
Yeah,
Okay, these
I
are the
like
key
them.
takeaways.
They're very powerful, actually, to understand the whole text.
Yeah. These are the key takeaways. This is what I can learn from the section,
Yeah.
so that I can apply it to my life. So it's not just a theoretical, I'm just studying this theoretical. It becomes practical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
I really love these ones. These summary, they're very good. And the meditation you did as well with them, I found like last night was very good.
Yeah, powerful, because it kind of internalizes and says, okay, that's the lesson. Very simply, can you absorb the lesson and apply it? And that's what this is all about. Too often, I've been in course groups, they read the text, it's kind of discussed at a theoretical level, and it's like, okay, bye then, let's have a cup of tea, let's go home, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And I was like, the reason I created this course was like, that doesn't really cut it. That's not going to awaken you. You're never going to get out then. It's like, I'm not saying it's not helpful, but once a week, once every 2 weeks, and you discuss it on a theoretical level, and maybe you feel a bit of a connection. Okay,
it's to integrate.
But this is like, okay, let's reprogram. Let's really get into the guts of your thought system, and let's reprogram it using this profound teaching, and then interpret it and change the language if you need to, and put in summaries and make it usable. So this becomes a living teaching for you that you can really go, yeah, this is actually working. This is transforming my mind. It's like rocket fuel. And that's been the evolution over the last 5 years. It didn't start this way, but it's as you work it, you like start to learn what works and what doesn't. And I guess my mission is to bring this to the world and make it way more accessible than it currently is. Way easier to do and study, and really you can use this to change your life. And there's actually quite an easy way. If you plug into this and you have a little bit of willingness, this is really going to help you.
That's all it requires, really, willingness.
Yeah. But to make it much easier, than it's ever been to study this and really get the essence. We're sucking the essence out of this. Each sentence, each paragraph. It's like take the essence, download it, becomes yours. It becomes in your thought system, in your energy. It does take time. I mean, we've been going already 2.5 hours, but this is what it requires. And then this recording will be available for other people in perpetuity. They can listen to this. So okay, well there, I can listen to this and get some of the energy. Okay, so Christine, the atonement or the atonement, if you can read that, is the only defense.
It'd be nice to have that in French, actually, translation in French. It would be nice to do that.
Well, maybe that's your part. We all get our calling.
The French version of the art of letting go.
So why not? Why not do it in French, and the whole point is to just help people, make it more accessible.
Yeah.
So we shall talk about that. So the atonement is Christine. You're muted. I don't know, your audio's not coming through for some reason. Doesn't say you're muted. I don't know.
Looks like it's hot in Hot Bay.
Yeah. Oh, that heat. I love it. Oh, it's like
27.
Nice. There
there you go. Oh, you come through. Yeah, very nice.
I
you
can
hear me
feel
now?
it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But atonement,
It's 20 degrees colder here. It's 7 degrees here. So just so you got an idea.
Mm.
the
So
atonement is the only defense. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That cannot be used destructively because it is not a device you made. The atonement is the only defense that cannot be used destructively because it is not a device you made.
Okay, that's clear. So
The
you
atonement
you cannot
principle,
use it destructively. It's not of the ego.
the atonement principle was in effect long before the atonement began. The principle was love, and the atonement was an act of love.
Okay, so the principle is love. And we'll make that capital. So the principle behind atonement is oneness, which is love. You know, atonement, atonement. It's oneness is behind it. Atonement was an act of love. So it's the process of the mind becoming one again with itself, its source, and that is an act of love. So it's in the domain of time and space, because acts cannot happen in eternity. Acts were not necessary before the separation, he says, because belief in time and space did not exist. So it's a process in time of awakening to the love that underlies the atonement. Okay. Understanding?
Yeah, it's number 4, I don't understand. The acts were not necessary before the separation because belief in space and time did not exist. Okay.
Yeah, because the separation led to, let me show you this diagram. Might clarify it for you. By the way, I sent you this manual, so on email, so you should have it. So before the thought of separation, right, no acts were required because there was no projection outwards. Time and space didn't exist, and all of this red stuff didn't exist.
Okay.
So that atonement is the process now within time and space of acting and speaking and doing things to awaken our minds to the truth that actually this is still true, that the pre-separation condition is still the truth. None of this is true. None of this really happened. So acts were not necessary in this state because it's a pure state of pure being. There's no form, so there's no need to act. There's nothing to do. It's just pure being.
Mm.
Okay, does that make sense now?
Mm.
Okay, so it's only after the separation.
It was only after the separation that the atonement and the conditions necessary for its fulfillment were planned. Then a defense so splendid was needed that it could not be misused, although it could be refused.
Okay, so you understand what he's saying there.
Oh.
Atonement and the conditions necessary for its fulfillment were planned. So the Spirit, Holy Spirit, came into being the moment that the split seemed to happen. Because then there was always the ability to reinterpret the dream. The moment that first split came and time was invented, the Holy Spirit was there as the alternative, which could reinterpret the dream. So that's what he's talking about, the plan of the atonement. Holy Spirit is there to reinterpret the dream, to help us to awaken from the nightmare of time and space and separation. And that's entrenched into the structure of this universe. No matter how much the ego has tried to get rid of the Holy Spirit, it cannot, because it's the truth. It's the fundamental truth. So this is what he's talking about, the plan.
Oh my God. This is
That one month and the conditions necessary for its fulfillment were planned. So the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of the atonement are the reinterpretation of the ego's dream and the letting go of that, of all the thoughts and emotions that are false. That's the plan. Forgiveness or letting go. So that was planned. The moment the separation seemed to happen, the plan of that one month came into being to awaken the mind to the truth. So we've never been without it. It's been with us forever. But have we listened to it? That's the question. Or have we listened to the ego, rather? So he's saying you can refuse it. You can't misuse this plan. You cannot misuse letting go or forgiveness. It's not possible. But you can refuse it. You can say, I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to forgive. Then you've refused it. Okay. And then number 7.
Refusal could not, however, turn it into a weapon of attack, which is the inherent characteristic of other defenses.
So however, refusal could not turn it into a weapon of attack, which is an inherent characteristic of other defenses. Okay. So most defenses, the ego's defenses, can always be used for attack. Have you noticed that? So, I mean, take an example of in South Africa, it's quite current. Someone says, right, I'm going to get a weapon, I'm going to get a gun or something because I need to defend myself. But that defense can be used to attack as well. That gun could kill someone and murder someone and not in self-defense. So it can be used for attack. Whereas letting go or forgiveness cannot be used for attack. It's not possible. You see that? If you truly let go of the negative thoughts and emotions, then there's no attack. Not possible to attack using atonement. So the atonement thus becomes the only defense that is not a two-edged sword.
The atonement, so the atonement thus becomes the only defense that is not a two-edged sword. It can only heal.
Make that double-edged, I think. It can only heal. Okay. So it's the one remedy that cannot be used by the ego to turn it into a weapon of attack. If you truly let go, then the ego is gone. It's out of business. It can only heal. So it's the one thing that we should be, following, this atonement plan. And when you let go, then you're following the atonement plan. That's the teaching. And you're undoing or letting go of all of this. You're denying the error, to use the language you used earlier. When you let go of all this, you deny the error and you accept the truth in your mind. So it takes you back into this state and away from the illusion. Okay, so can you summarize that? What's he saying there in summary?
The atonement principle, which is love and the love and the act of love are necessary.
Yeah. I'm just going to copy that. So let's so the atonement principle of unconditional love. Conditional love. And letting go of the denial of love. Is the only defense of the truth that cannot be used to attack. And that's really the summary, isn't it?
Good.
It's an act, so that's actualized, because this is what he's talking about. It's actualized by the letting go of the denial of love in all its forms, is the only defense of the truth that cannot be used to attack. That I cannot use to attack. So I accept the plan of Atonement rather than my own. And he's saying, look, you can't. There's no double edge here. The ego is out of business because the ego always can attack. So accept this plan as your own, that you can, and then you can free your mind through this principle. Okay, happy with that?
Yes.
So number 4, let's go up to number 5. Let's ask Elaine. Elaine, can you read for us? The Atonement was built into space-time belief.
Yeah. The Atonement was built into the space-time and belief to set a limit on the need for the belief itself, and ultimately to make learning complete.
There. Ultimate space-time belief to set a limit on the need for the belief itself, and ultimately to make the learning complete. Okay. So the moment the split seemed to happen, the ego was born, went on this crazy journey of projection, going out of its mind, creating this whole alternate reality we call the physical universe. The moment that happened, the Atonement was built into that whole space-time belief to set a limit on the need for the belief itself. Right. So the way out, the escape route, was there from the start. But we had to journey to this point now in time and space and get ourselves thoroughly screwed in to the thought system of the ego in time and space, to awaken to this answer that's always been there, but we denied the answer. We didn't accept the Atonement for most of our lives and many lifetimes before. But now we can. Okay, so does that first one make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a limit on the need for the belief itself.
The alternative
ultimately to make learning complete.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. Based on certainly in the belief itself. Ultimately to make learning complete. I think the commas I don't always we changing punctuation as well. Okay, so the second one, the Atonement is?
The Atonement is the final lesson. And that's gone straight to the alternative, yeah. Is it the same? The Atonement is,
yeah.
so it's the final lesson, which is what we all want.
We learn that we are one. You know, so the Atonement is both the process and it's the end result. right? When we are in the state of at-one-ment with our source, then that's it. Ego's game's over. So it's describing the end outcome, the final result, and it's also the process of learning that. He uses it usually in the process sense. Okay, that one-ment is a process. It's the process of letting go of your illusions and awakening to the truth. But the final outcome is to be perfectly at one with your source. So then the at-one-ment would be complete. When you're perfectly at one with your source, there is only pure formless awareness of perfect love remaining. Then that's the final lesson. You've learned everything there is to learn in time and space. And you no longer need the classrooms. So number 3, learning itself.
Number 3, learning itself, like the classrooms in which it occurs, is temporary. Yeah, so we're all in a temporary
So of time. Temporary means it's of time. The classrooms, which is this earth, the classroom of time and space is the classroom, is temporary. It's of time, so it's not going to last forever. It's of time. It has a sequence, beginning, a sequence, cause, effect, and an end. Okay, and then he clarifies that even further in the next sentence.
The ability to learn has no value when change is no longer necessary. Yeah.
Okay.
5.
Because why would you need to, when change is no longer necessary, when you're perfectly at one with your source, in pure formless awareness of perfect love, what is there to learn? Nothing. You just need to be at one with your source in perfect being. So knowledge does not require learning. Only the domain of perception. When you're still in perception, that still requires learning. Okay, number 5.
The eternal creative have nothing to learn.
So eternally. Yeah. So by creative, he means eternally existent, eternally present. Eternally existent, have nothing to learn. Because you recognize that I'm eternal. I know I'm eternal. What's there to learn? I'm eternal. I'm just aware of that awareness. I rest in that, and it's peaceful and joyful and blissful. What more is there to learn? Okay. So number 6, you can learn to
improve your perceptions and can become a better and better learner.
Okay, so within the domain of time, we can improve our perceptions. We can let go of false beliefs. We can become a better and better learner. So we're honing our minds, fine-tuning our belief systems. And then number 7, this will bring you.
This will bring you into closer and closer accord with the extension. But the extension itself is a perfect extension, and perfection is not a matter of degree.
And the original, he just used the word sonship instead of extension. So the sonship is the entire extension of this source, which is everyone and everything. Everyone is part of that. Extension itself is a perfect extension, and perfection is not a matter of degree. Okay, so the extension must be like its source, must be perfect in truth. We're exactly like it. We're perfectly extended. There's actually only really that one awareness, and it's perfect, and it's not a matter of degree. Extension is not somewhat less perfect. Not somewhat less perfect. Perfection is not a matter of degree. Only while there's a belief in differences is learning meaningful.
So we're still learning.
Yeah, still learning. But at least you're learning the truth. You're learning to distinguish the truth from the illusion. Learning to discern while there's a belief in differences is learning meaningful. So I believe there's still differences, then I must learn to overcome that belief ultimately, to realize there's no difference in truth, no separation. There's no choice in truth for that reason. It's one awareness. There's nothing to choose between. Differences are of the ego. But while I'm in the ego's domain, time and space, I must learn to make better choices. So I must distinguish the difference. The primary aim of this course is to help you distinguish the difference between truth and illusion. You know, what is what? Because then you can make an accurate choice or decision, and that choice is what's going to lead you either into the more into the illusion, or out of the illusion into the truth, depending on what choices you make here. When you choose the spirit, then you collapse the idea of choice. You say there are no differences because everything that seems to be different from the truth is actually not there. It's false. Do you see? When you deny the truth, when you deny the illusion, then that's what you're saying. It doesn't really exist. It's not really there. Therefore, there is no difference to truth. There's only truth. So that defends the truth in your mind. That protects it. And the more you believe that, the more you stay rooted in the truth. Okay, there is only this one awareness. There's nothing else. All else is illusion. As long as I still believe there are differences, then I must learn to correct that belief. I must learn to correct my mind and overcome and realize there are no differences in truth. We are all one. We are the same awareness.
Look at these two.
Okay, that makes sense. Any questions about that paragraph? Okay, so we'll just copy that and we'll just do a. Can you summarize that, Elaine? What's he saying there?
Well, I mean, the truth is the truth, and well, it's all built into the space-time belief, and this is the final lesson, isn't it? Learning itself with the classroom as which it occurs is very temporary. It's all temporary, and this is eventually eternal, and there'll be nothing to learn.
Yeah.
And it's in itself is perfect extension and perfection. It's only when there's a belief that that's where we're still stuck in illusion.
Yeah. So I can learn to one month has been there as the answer since time began. I must learn to improve my perceptions better and better learner in time by applying its principles. This will bring me into closer relationship with my source and everyone everyone and everything. And ultimately remove my belief in differences. Which will be the final step in the atonement. Okay, is that helpful? You want to read that, Elaine?
The atonement principle, is that, yeah, is that the point to read? The atonement principle.
No, this one, atonement has been there as the answer.
Yeah, the atonement has been there as the answer since time began. But I must learn to improve my perceptions and become a better and better learner in time by applying its principles. This will bring me into closer and closer relationship with everyone and everything, and ultimately remove my belief in differences, which will be the final step at the atonement.
Final step in the one. Okay, so I think that's a reasonable summary of what he has to say. Then stand back here, number 6. Let's ask Susie to read. Hi, Susie. Can you read? Number 6, evolution is a process.
Evolution is a process in which you seem to proceed from one degree to the next. Evolution is a process in which you seem to proceed from one degree to the next. You correct your previous missteps by stepping forward. You correct your previous
Make that mistakes. How about that?
mistakes.
And then missteps.
Errors would be better, wouldn't it?
Could make it errors. Your previous errors.
By stepping forward.
Yeah. This process is actually incomprehensible in temporal terms.
So I have to keep moving it because it's on my phone. This process is actually incomprehensible. Say that word again for me, Jono.
Incomprehensible.
Incomprehensible in temporal terms because you return as you go forward.
Okay, so what's he saying?
This process is actually incomprehensible in temporal terms because you return as you go forward. I don't understand those
Makes
two
sense.
words, so I don't understand
Which word? Incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just means not understandable.
Oh, that's good. I didn't understand
We
it
can,
at all.
We can do that. We can do that translation.
Mhm.
Online of consciousness. Let's go back there. Because you return was actually not understandable. So what incomprehensible means? Understandable.
In temporal, is that it's
Temporal
just
terms.
yeah,
So temporal terms in terms of
is it short term, not long lived?
linear time is what he's talking about.
Right.
Terms of linear time. Because you return as you go forward.
Right.
Okay, so what he's saying is on the timeline, you have this seemingly linear progression. You know, you stepping forward and you're progressing on the timeline. So in temporal terms, on the timeline, it seems like you're going forward in your life from past to future. But actually, as you go forward, you return. You're returning back to source. But it's not on the same, it's not on the timeline. I mean, you can't go back to birth, but you can go zhup vertical up above the timeline and you return home, which is above the level. It's another level time. So saying it's not comprehensible, not understandable to return. If you're going forward in linear time, to return and go backwards wouldn't be understandable, would it? Like,
No.
how does that? So it's only understandable if you go beyond the framework of time and space. Beyond time, you go, well, in the timeless, the eternal now, this reality, it makes complete sense because I can just zip, escape the timeline and return as I move forward. As I move forward and I make these corrections, each situation that crops up, I make the corrections. I'm returning because I'm taking my mind above the level of time, out of time and space, back to the eternal source. That's what he's saying. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Return to the truth as you go forward.
Are you going to put
time.
return to the truth?
Yeah, you return to as you go forward in time. Maybe we need to clarify it as you go forward in time. So you get older, time seems to be progressing, but you're returning, using your experiences to transcend time and return to the truth. So it's the most helpful way is to visualize it as above. It's not backwards. You're not going back. It's a level above the level of time, as in this diagram. Transcendent level. Okay. Environment.
Oh, that's the alternative. I haven't read the other one yet.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. I think. I don't think there's any translations.
Oh, is it? Oh, the Atonement is the device by which you can free yourself from the past as you go ahead.
Okay. So look at the timeline. As you go ahead, let's say you hit a roadblock, there's a trauma, something arises. The Atonement helps you to free yourself from the past. So take, I mean, we had a practical example today. Christine shared, you know, she's had for 10 years of past, she's had falls. Okay, so past, then just coming again into a present experience, she fell again this morning. But now she can reinterpret that experience from the perspective of oneness. It doesn't acknowledge all of the past and the conditioning and the trauma and anything, and simply say, I don't need that anymore. This is not helpful. It doesn't serve me. So I can let go of the emotions. I can let go of wanting sympathy and you know, sharing this, say, oh, poor me, and all of that. I can let it go. So that's the reinterpretation by the spirit, and then that changes her perception of the situation. It changes her behavior. She doesn't tell people about and ask for sympathy. And now she's correcting the error of the past in the present moment, which will allow her to move forward and not be having to repeat that same past pattern. So as I said, it might have saved a huge interval of time. She hadn't corrected it. She might have a much more serious fall and end up in hospital or something, or break a limb. And then there's a whole drama that goes. And now that's the Spirit, Holy Spirit, just cuts out the need for that. That interval of time is no longer necessary. So that's the time collapse factor he talks about. It's no longer necessary. She's freed herself from all kinds of experiences which wouldn't be very pleasant in the future, and she can now go ahead and progress, you know, in a much more functional way in her life, and have a happy dream, because she's cut out the need for a lot of pain and suffering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it undoes your past errors. Carry on. So you can free yourself from the past as you go ahead. So it undoes your past errors.
It undoes your past errors, thus making it unnecessary for you to keep retracing your steps without advancing to your return.
Okay. So what does he mean by that? You
You're not
don't need to
backtracking.
keep
You're
going
not
back
backtracking. Yeah.
and repeating the same patterns. Oh, okay, I fell again. I don't need to keep retracing my steps, going back into these past programs, reliving them in the future, without advancing to your return. Okay, so you're not really, if you're just stuck in those past patterns, you're not really making any progress to your return home. You're staying stuck in time, in the ego's very limited awareness. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. In
Number
this
6.
in this sense, the Atonement saves time, but like the correction it serves, does not abolish it.
Make that home. So we're clear, your return is to advancing to your return home. In this sense, the Atonement saves time, but like the miracle it serves, so correction serves, does not abolish it. Okay. So the corrections, the letting go, is a part of the Atonement process. It doesn't abolish it. So the final, you know, the end of the Atonement will be when we are all at one, and that state is a complete state, and there's nothing left to learn. As long as there's need for Atonement, there's a need for time. So time will continue as long as correction is needed. I'm going to change that to enabled. I think that's better. like the corrections. So that one-man principle is love, yeah. So the corrections it enables, but like the corrections it enables, does not abolish it. One saves time, but does not abolish it. Okay, that makes sense. So there's a need for it. 1 month, there's a need for time.
As long as there is need for at one moment, there is a need for time.
Yeah. So as long as the that 1 month is needed, would be simpler.
Mm.
And 1 month is needed. There is a need for time. I think that's a bit more elegant. So the 1 month will continue as long as for all time, for as long as time is going. The 1 month process is in action.
Were you going to put there is a need for time, or were you just leaving it? There is a.
There is yeah, okay. Maybe does it sound better with there is a need for.
When you said it first, that's what you said. So I thought that would be better to.
Yeah, I think it sounds a bit. There is, and the idea is to make it easier, easier to read. It's smoother. As long as at 1 month is needed, there is a need for time. Okay, or there is need for time. Yeah, you could just use need, but it's a bit more old-fashioned to not have an there. So
that's all right. It's all right.
Okay, so number 8, but the 1 month.
But the 1 month as a completed plan has a unique relationship to time.
Yeah. Okay.
Until what was that? Sorry.
No, he's saying it's got a unique relationship, and then he's going to qualify that. He's going to tell us what that is in number 9.
Until the at-one-ment is complete, its various phases will proceed in time, but the whole at-one-ment stands at time's end.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, it's a process of correction, but it's also the end result. A whole at-one-ment, the complete at-one-ment stands at time's end. Maybe we should make whole complete. I think that might be more useful. Complete at-one-ment stands at time's end. I think it might be better to say at the end of time.
Yeah.
Stands at the end of time. So when time comes to an end, the 1 month will be complete. There will only be the one mind. There will only be this one awareness, which is God, pure formless awareness of perfect love. Time will collapse. There's no more need, and anything in time and space will disappear.
Point, yeah. At that point, the bridge. At that point, the bridge of return has been built.
Yeah. At that point, the bridge of return. Maybe instead of has, because has implies past tense again, talking about the temporal regression. It's still going to happen in time, in future. So the bridge of return will have been built.
Is built, no?
Well, in truth, it's already there, but you have to
that's why
accept.
is built is good. Is built.
Yeah. The bridge of return, will have been built, because he's talking about, at that point, at the end of time, now going, all the way to the end of the timeline, way beyond just the timeline of a human life, into
that is if you
the
don't
ultimate
die.
end of the universe. You'll get to it, and then the bridge of return will have been built at that point, because we will all have returned back to oneness, and that 1 month will have served its purpose. In time, it was necessary as the way out, the bridge, the correction, and then it will be done, and there will no longer be a process. It will stand as the complete, forever in eternity, the end result of the Father and the Son being the extensions of love, and the Father being the source, being one again, just one awareness, nothing else going on. So then the bridge of return will have been built, and there will be no need for return anymore, because the mind will be complete and whole and healed. So, in time, that's going to take millions, possibly billions of years still to take. He says at some point, the last judgment, just like the separation, will take millions of years, and possibly quite a lot longer to happen. But that doesn't mean you have to hang around in time and space for millions of years. You can collapse it now whenever you choose to. That's your free will, your choice, and transcend the illusion and go back to oneness. And then you join the Christ mind in the great crusade, as he calls it, of awakening everyone else. You join him as, he says, I'm in charge of that oneness. It's the Christ mind, the one self that's awoken to itself, is in charge of the process of that oneness. So then you join that mind, awakening all of your brothers.
So we'll be built.
So it's like you are teaching yourself. Do you see that? Your future Christ enlightened mind, where there's nothing else, and you're completely identified with oneself, you're rooted in your true awareness, pure formless awareness, the perfect love, is teaching you now how to awaken to itself and to become that future self, which in time still needs to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of time, it's already there. So Yeshua represents, the future self, who you really are, and it's now speaking to you from outside of time and space to awaken you to that self, to teach you how to become the self that you are, and collapse time and merge back into the oneness. So this stands at the end of time, waiting, and it's helping you to collapse time, the need for time, and just go, whoop, I'm out of time, and I'm going to go back into this oneness state. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to give a little summary of that, Susie? What's he saying in this one in summary?
It's a process. It's all a process, and you'll have to step forward to correct your errors. There's something about the bridge. Seems to come in and out.
Okay, so let's translate. Atonement is a device by which I can free myself from the past as I go ahead, as I live in this world. And I live in time. And in this world.
They live in this linear.
Yeah, as I live in time.
Yeah.
I'm just really saying that. So
That works.
undoes my past errors. So making it unnecessary for me to keep retracing my steps without advancing to my return. So we can say that unnecessary for me to keep learning the same lessons. And getting stuck, not advancing to my return. It's getting stuck in time. So that, you know, there are people, if you're not learning, it's the same lesson over and over, and we don't learn. Saves a lot of time. So the 1 month saves time. In 1 month. Will save me time. And help me to tame the transcendent state of the formless awareness that in which everyone has transcended time. Something like that. And will save me time and help me to attain the transcendent state of pure formless, which everyone has transcended time now. So it's like almost, you know, the 1 month, the complete plan is there, but I collapse time and I bring it to me now. When I apply that 1 month principle, it becomes my now, my reality. I'm collapsing the necessary time between now where I am and my ultimate release. So you're shortening the need for time. He talks about the time collapse factor, the time control factor, the miracle. You collapse time and all the situations and circumstances and events that you might need to experience with letting go, you collapse that. Greatly shorten the timeline. You don't need to spend more time than is necessary here learning. So and people say, oh, you know, that's going to shorten my life. Well, maybe not your physical life, but it's not about that. It's actually shortening the whole cycle of birth and death that you've been caught up in. You've been doing that over and over. It's collapsing that. And you can do this in one lifetime. Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Well, I know it's, you know, it's
When you
absolutely-
realise this is what you've come here to do, only
Yeah,
when you realise
then-
though.
Yeah, then, you know, get on with it. It's like, okay, what are you waiting for? You know, this is the whole plan. This is the whole deal. This is why you're here. There's no other purpose. Okay, well, focus. So it says focus. You know, the correct focus will shorten time immeasurably. Focus on what's important, value what's important, and let go of the rest. Because it's meaningless. Okay, and we're busy, you know, with the workbook, we're busy training our minds to not associate false meaning. Nothing I see means anything. I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. We're learning to apply these ideas in practice, in our perceptions of things. Okay, so this is the last paragraph. Number 7, who's going to read that? I think it's probably Aurelie's turn again. Aurelie, do you want to have a read first?
Yeah. So, the atonement is a total commitment. Yeah, indeed. You may still think this is associated with loss. A mistake. All the separated extensions of pure formless awareness of perfect love make in one way or another.
Okay, so that translation be the sons of God, yeah? Just read the, in fact, I don't think there is going to be any more translation in this very much.
Can you scroll up just a little bit, please? Thank you. So, yeah, the atonement is a total commitment. You may still think this is associated with loss. A mistake all the separated sons of God make in one way or another. So a mistake that all the separated extensions of perfect love make in one way or another.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe a defense that cannot attack is the best defense. Yeah.
Hard to believe for the ego. Because the ego, attack and defend are kind of synonymous. Isn't that much difference?
Sorry?
With the ego, it's defend and attack are two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
It's synonymous for it. Whether I'm defending or I'm attacking, it's a thought system of fear and guilt and punishment and attack that it believes in.
Yeah.
So the ego is going to find it hard to believe that a defense that cannot attack is the best defense, because the ego's best defense is attack. And that's irrelevant for you, because what's happening in your world? Lots of attack. So that's the ego's best defense. Your mum feels very threatened, very challenged by you. And so her way of defending her illusory identity is to attack you.
Yeah.
And that's the characteristic of all ego defenses. It's defense and attack. Every defense can be used to attack. It's a double-edged sword. So with the Atonement, you cannot attack someone if you let go and you forgive. It's not possible.
Say that again, please.
In the Atonement, if you truly let go, because that's its defense, letting go of forgiveness, you truly let go, there is no attack to that. You cannot attack with it.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's the only thing that doesn't have that double-edged sword. With the ego's defenses, it can always be turned around and can be used to attack. Whereas with the Atonement, it cannot. So the ego is going to find it hard to believe a defense that cannot attack is the best defense.
Yeah. It's
Because
going to fight against
contrary
its
to its
own
thought
self,
system.
right? The ego. It's going to fight
Contrary to
against its
thought system.
own
And the ego's conception,
separate self.
it can only be a good defense if it can attack. Because in the ego's conception, the best form of defense is attack.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be basically attacking their own separate self, their own ego, by acting with attack.
Yeah, you're really just attacking yourself, but the ego doesn't want you to see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, attack is self-attack. So you're not really defending. Attack is no defense.
Yeah.
Attack is actually makes you very vulnerable and very weak, very afraid.
You attack yourself as you
So
attack
any
someone.
double-edged defense is not a defense at all. It's actually going to make you very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So whereas the Atonement and this principle of letting go, because that's how the Atonement is expressed, is the best defense. Cannot be used for attack. And this is what is meant by.
This is what it meant. This is what is meant by the meek shall inherit the earth.
Yeah, so that's a quote from the Bible. The meek shall inherit the earth.
I forgot what that word means. The meek.
Meek. Meek means humble. It's kind of meek and mild. Doesn't have an ego. One doesn't like that word very much. Because meek is weak. Meek. Meek. So it means quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on, submissive. So she brought her meek little husband along. Doesn't have a good connotation in the normal sense of the word.
Quiet, gentle.
And easily imposed on. So easily kind of submissive. Quiet and gentle are nice, but so in the positive interpretation of it, the meek shall inherit the earth is the humble. Is meant by the meek shall inherit the earth. They will literally take it over because of their strength. And because they are humble and they are meek, they're letting go of their ego. There is no double-edged sword. They're not prone to weakness. The ego is prone always to be attacked. It's fundamentally weak. And you see that, in history. Look at the tyrants of history. You've got another one currently in the world, Putin, attacking Ukraine.
Putin. You talk about
It's a weak thought system, isn't it? Because they're attacking, but they're exposing themselves to attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's no safety in that, because guess what? You go and attack, then the whole world starts attacking you. That's not a safe thought system. It's not powerful. It's actually very weak.
Weak.
He
I was
carried
going
on
to
that
say
way,
very weak
he's-
behavior.
He'd be defeated ultimately, because he's one country against the rest of the world. He'd be defeated, and then he'll be deposed as be in charge of Russia, and he'll take his country down a path of a lot of pain and suffering in that process. It's what Hitler did, and people don't learn.
Yeah, I was thinking also,
So
but
attack is very weak. If you base your so-called defense of your country on attack, it's a very weak thought system. It will ultimately turn on you, and it's not safe at all. It's not going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So two-way defense is inherently weak, precisely because it has two edges and can be turned against you very unexpectedly.
Well, that's why the Ukrainian flee their country as well, because they don't feel safe where they are now. There's a lot of Ukrainian actually here being welcomed.
Yeah.
In where I am in this area where I am.
So you get it. Any two-way defense that can be an attack is inherently not safe.
Yeah.
We've seen that in
and you want to feel safe. That's why you seek an alternative way of living, a different place to live where you can feel at peace and where you're supported.
Look at what happened with the whole nuclear arms race. To be safe, we've got to, we're defending. They don't call it attack, they call it defense. It's the defense budget, Ministry of Defense, and so on. But it's just a double-edged sword. It can be used to attack as well. So now we've got nuclear weapons, which are supposedly defensive, but they can be used to attack as well.
Yeah, but exactly. So it's a destructive belief system.
Yeah. So you see, it doesn't really keep anyone safe.
No.
The only true defense is to let go.
Absolutely.
Because that cannot be used destructively by the ego.
No. All weapons should be destroyed. There shouldn't be weapons.
But as long as the thought system maintains, you see, as long as the ego is there, then there will be weapons because it requires them.
Yeah.
The thought system of defend and attack is so entrenched that it needs to create weapons to defend itself, but then there are weapons of attack. So no one builds a defense force, because you can't say we're building this to go and attack, can you? But it can be used for that, and often is, because now we've got it. Oh, we can actually use it as Putin has. Now we can go use that to attack. So anyway, you get the point. The ego's defend attack system doesn't work. It doesn't really keep you safe. Okay, so two-way defense is inherently weak precisely because it has two edges and can therefore be turned against you. Therefore, turned against you very unexpectedly.
They will literally take it over because of their strengths. We didn't do that one.
Didn't we? Oh, okay.
They will literally take it over because of their strength.
Yeah. So what he's saying, literally take it over. This is almost saying this is the time of Atonement coming into power, this time of transformation. The defenseless will take over, the ones who truly let go and want peace. And that thought system will become the dominant thought system because of their strength.
Yeah.
So that's that's the process that we're living through. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in our lifetimes. Could there actually be such a profound transformation that human society now works on the principle of non-attack, ahimsa, non-violence, non-attack,
Yeah.
which requires the letting go of the ego? Could that actually become the dominant thought system in the world, and that idea, that thought system, be the governing principle for the world we live in? Well, this is what he's saying. They will literally take it over. So we'll see as it unfolds. It's certainly not the case now, but it could be. And it happens, one mind at a time. It happens through us. Each person who learns this then becomes part of the Atonement, which can then spread out, and that can radiate out. From the change in mind, it can go to the change in the systems. If we look at integral model, a change of mind, that becomes collective. We have shared values, a shared value of non-attack, right? We are defenseless because we let go, we forgive. That would then profoundly change the systems, individual behavior and systems that govern us. They wouldn't be double-edged systems anymore. They would be systems that cannot hurt. And then you wouldn't do crazy things like build armies and nuclear weapons and stuff. Okay.
A two-way defense is inherently weak, precisely because it has two edges and can therefore be turned against you very unexpectedly.
Okay.
That's if you believe in both the truth and the ego's errors, right? Or if you defend both the truth and the ego.
Yeah, a two-way defense.
Mm.
Inherently weak, precisely because it's two edges. So if you believe in the ego, you go with the way to be safe is to attack. Or the way to be safe is to build up. I need to make myself safe through having weapons, or more security. Or, but it's a two-way defense, because it can always be used to attack. So it doesn't make you safe. The only thing that's going to make you safe is this letting go process. You must deny the error. You must deny the error to be safe. The only thing that's going to keep you safe. This possibility cannot be controlled except by miracles or corrections.
This possibility cannot be controlled except by corrections, yeah.
Okay.
The miracle turns the defense of atonement. The correction turns the defense of atonement to your real protection. And as you become more and more secure, you assume your natural talent of protecting others, knowing yourself as both a brother and an extension.
Yeah. I'm going to change that to the correction directs the defense of atonement for your real protection. Okay? So it's in charge now, and it's going to really protect you. You cannot be harmed. If you know that you're invulnerable because you've let go of all error, then you're truly protected.
And as you become more and more secure, you assume your natural talent of protecting others, knowing yourself as both a brother and an extension, a companion, an extension.
and an extension. So you are a companion of your brothers and sisters because you are one with them, and you're an extension of perfect love.
Yeah.
But you're an extension of the source. And Jesus's teachings in the Bible, he says, love your God. So you know that you are connected to your source. You're an extension of that, but also love your brother. So how can you love your source if you also don't love its extensions, which is everyone? Someone said to me, well, I love God, but I can't love you. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So like you can't justify that position logically. It's clearly not possible. Because if you don't love the extension of love, then you disconnect yourself from the source. You can't, you're no longer in that source.
Awareness.
In that
That
awareness.
love awareness.
Yeah, you're in another awareness. You've disconnected yourself.
Yeah. The
So
ego,
as we love
the ego's
others,
awareness.
as we love others, so we learn to love ourselves. In other words,
Yeah.
we come more and more into that loving awareness that we are. That's completely logical, but the ego is so blind, it can't see that. It doesn't want to see the obvious truth of that.
Yeah, that was interesting actually today, because I couldn't connect on the live for the expression session, or the connection. It wouldn't connect, so I was like, okay, that's meant to be. Then I'm not meant to be connecting there. But I was, in a way, I was connecting with the world that was surrounding me where I was. It's funny. It was very interesting how people were greeting me. Even the dogs came to greet me where I was. It was very interesting dynamic happening. I was really aware. Actually, I was very aware of what was happening. It was interesting. I was embracing, because I remember you started the session saying you must be embracing yourself, or there was something like that. And I was like fully in that embracing. Like I was like, yeah, I'm right there, embracing myself, doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing right now.
Yeah.
It was quite powerful. It was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to, because I could have actually been frustrated because I couldn't connect online, and couldn't get this connection, this internet connection. But I'm like, nope, I'm gonna keep my peace, stay at peace.
Yeah.
And that's it. No matter what happens, I'm gonna stay at peace.
Yeah, you did. So, and then the miracle's like, well, look at the connection, look at the love that's flowing.
Yes, so much love around me. It was incredible. It was incredible. I even had kids actually that came to, at one point I sat, and I even had kids that came to play around me and to sit. A little girl came and sit close to where I was, like next to me. It was a very, a really amazing and experience, actually, encounter.
Yeah.
See my natural talent, I will fulfill my role of protecting others.
So making consistent corrections directs the defense of atonement for my real protection. And as I become more and more secure, I will fulfill my natural role of protecting others, knowing yourself as both a companion, knowing myself.
Fulfill my natural role and
knowing,
protecting others, and knowing myself
as both a companion and an extension. Yeah, that works.
as their companion and
their extension.
The extension of
pure, formless, or perfect love.
Perfect love.
Yeah.
So
it's so synchronistic with what I just shared, like the experience I just had today.
Protecting others, and through this, I know myself as I am. So as I connect with my brothers and I'm in the love, I feel that I'm the extension of perfect love. It's coming through me, flowing
threw me into, these interactions with people.
No, it
And
was
I come to
incredible.
know myself, so the only way is saying you can't know yourself if you block that flow. If you disconnect from people and things, you cannot allow then the flow of love to come through you. You block it and you disconnect from your source, which is why his 2 instructions were love your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. Those were the 2 instructions, because he knew that if you didn't love your neighbor as yourself, then you could not love God.
Yeah.
You block the flow, and people don't. This lady had this theological argument for it. She said, "No, I can love God, but not you." I'm going, "No, you can't. You're confused if you think you can."
There's a lady who
Because you
said that.
block- Yeah, this is I mean, like, can you believe people believe that? But they do. She's traditional Christian. She's going,
Yeah.
I'll never be one with you. I'll never be one with you.
Yeah, because
I
they
love
believe
God.
in
I'm
the
like, but
external God. They believe in the external God, not as
yeah, so there's
as the love
some kind
within
of
themselves.
conceptual God, and you are not of God. Okay, well, how does that work? How could I not be of God if God's the source of all life? How does that? How would
Yeah,
that be
because
logical?
there's that symbolic figure of God being outside of you, like being external. So that's why they don't relate to that inner love. Yeah.
But it doesn't make any logical sense. You can't justify the logic. It's like, well, if I'm, then what am I? If I'm not of God, what would I be then? Where did I come from? Who created me?
Yeah.
Like I just arrived. What, did the devil create me? Then how did I
Yeah,
have
that's
any
also
kind of life?
possible. That's
It
also
really doesn't make
possible.
sense. It really doesn't make sense. So
Really? That's possible that the devil created someone, no? Isn't it?
well, not really, because the devil doesn't know how to create life. The devil is life destructive. The devil doesn't create. The devil destroys. So not really.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when
But
I used to wonder about that, actually, to distinguish this, because you sometimes if you think about, like, for example, well, it's a very negative example, but in a way it's illustrating this, maybe this case, like a rapist that will rape someone and that will later give birth to a child. I mean, that child cannot be created from love, right?
Yeah, but the Holy Spirit could reinterpret that, and the mother could say, okay, well, I'm going to love the child anyway.
Yes.
And that would be the correction, wouldn't it? Even though the act that led to it was not an act of love, it was an act of violence and an attack, it could be reinterpreted. And that if the mother really said, I'm going to love this child, and I'm going to, that would be the correction. It would be her own healing, and that the child would then feel loved. And it would correct the error.
Yeah.
So you see, the Spirit's always there to reinterpret.
It's the Spirit that reinterprets.
Always can reinterpret and correct the error. There's nothing it can't do. If you allow it to, it can correct any error.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
But you must be, open and willing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just read this. If you want to read the personalized executive summary, and then if you're up for it, you can do a quick meditation on it, 20 minutes or something on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. You want to read that? The more I bring the errors.
I don't have anything right now.
Huh?
I don't know why.
I shared my screen. I stopped my screen share. Sorry, I'm just.
Let's stop sharing now.
Yeah. There we go. The more I bring the errors.
So the more I bring the errors of fear and doubt into the light of my true awareness, which I can access through my heart, the more the errors or darkness will disappear and bring the peace of perfect love that surpasses all understanding. I must deny the errors of my separate self to defend the truth and let go of the miscreations and projections of my belief in separation. This will free my mind and reestablish the freedom of my true awareness. I choose the truth by what I value. So if I focus on valuing what is true and letting go of valuing what is false, my decisions will become easier and I will save myself a lot of time and needless suffering. The Atonement principle of unconditional love that's actualized by the letting go of the denial of love in all its forms is the only defense of the truth that I cannot use to attack, so I accept the plan of Atonement rather than my own. The Atonement has been there as the way out of time-space since time began, but I must learn to improve my perceptions and become a better and better learner in time by applying its principles. This will bring me into closer and closer relationship with everyone and everything, and ultimately remove my belief in differences, which will be the final step in the Atonement. The Atonement is the device by which I can free myself from the past as I live in time. It undoes my past errors, so making it unnecessary for me to keep learning the same lessons and getting stuck in time. The Atonement will save me time and help me to attain the transcendent state of pure formless awareness in which everyone has transcended time now. Making consistent corrections directs the defense of Atonement for my real protection, and as I become more and more secure, I will fulfill my natural role of protecting others and knowing myself as their companion and the extension of perfect love.
Nice, thank you. So there you go. So now you've got personalized executive summary saying, okay, this is what it's about. You know? This is how you've got to think.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be really valuable for people.
Yes, it's very valuable. Very.
And okay, I've got the translation. I can read it, and I can take this as a lesson, and I can apply this. And that's the project. That's what we're developing, these resources and tools, which in time will go, okay, yeah, I can really understand this text now. Finally, I can actually use this to help me to gain the true understanding and apply it to my life, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's good to have the practical part, practical side.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of the discussion. Would you like to do a meditation?
Yeah, we can do a short one now.
Yeah.
On this, on the summary, you mean?
Yes, on the summary.
Yeah, last night I really enjoyed the one on the summary. Actually,
yeah,
so
I'm just what's happened. Just to speak to that thing about developing, your business. What's happened is, as I've done this, you develop it as you go. You go, oh, well, why don't I do that, and why don't I try that? But you got to be in the game to do it. It's like, okay, so I'm doing that, and I'm like, okay, well, why not personalize the executive summary that I did last year for a bit? It's like, okay, well, why not take it to another level now? Do it in kind of bullet points, and then why not? The meditations on the text. I was trying that last year. They're too long. It ends up being, half an hour, 40 minutes. But if you summarize it down to a summary and then you meditate on it, it's more powerful because you've actually got some clear kind of guidance there, and you meditate on that, and then in the meditative state, it helps you to internalize it more and learn it. So it's what happens. You start going, oh, that makes sense, and it's a journey, and you develop the business as you go. You figure out what adds value. So that, the more, get in the game. My advice is get in the game, start the process. Start it with a beta course, and once you kick start it, you're in the game, and you're learning, you're iterating, and you're improving.
So you do masterclass before it, right? To invite people to join the course, obviously, the program.
Yeah, I did a masterclass and then showed them what it was about, and then they joined the program. And if it's free, it's not that difficult to sell
Yeah.
it, is it?
That's true.
I'm asking you for your time and to be a guinea pig. But if you've got a little tribe already, you've got a network, you can tap into that and you can use it to get the people that you need.
Yeah, I mean, I have a Facebook group, and I used to have like a lot of contact on Facebook and like 2,600 people, but I actually went through a delete. I just deleted a lot
Yeah,
of
well,
people.
you'll
Actually,
find a way. You need,
I just cleared everyone that I wasn't talking to or communicating with. I just had like a letting go of contact.
yeah, well, sometimes you have to do that. But
Yeah,
you'll
people that
find
I
that
wasn't
you find a
interacting
way.
with.
Yeah, you'll find a way to do it and
I
to
mean,
find
not
the
even
right
now. I
people.
still have 500 followers on my Facebook normal personal page, and I have other professional pages as well, and the group that has, I think,
Yeah,
13. I have several pages. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sure there's some more letting go to do there.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, so shall we do the meditation? Does anyone need a quick comfort break for 2 minutes and then we'll start the med? Or are you happy to go straight into it?
I'm ready to do it now, so I can go to rest. It's been a
Right.
long
Okay.
day.
All right.
Mm,
So just make yourself comfortable.
yeah.
Into meditation posture. Put yourself on mute. Stop your camera if you want. And so just sitting comfortably in a meditation posture, feet shoulder width apart. If you're sitting on a chair, back straight. Cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So you're breathing in, you're noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And you clench the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to connect with your heart space. And draw it up into the crown of your head, just pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. And you scan your mind. There's thoughts, any actions, any words, any emotions going on for you, particularly anything that feels negative or limiting, contracted, constricting in any way. Breathe into that, create some space, some light, some awareness. Imagine you breathing light in, and beautiful golden white light. And let it go now. Remind yourself today's lesson. I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. So it's just a self-created meaning. And you exhale and blow it all out. Just blow it away with the breeze of your breath. Going, gone to the nothingness that it really is.
So you just rest here in peace and stillness. Quiet gap between breaths, gap in the mind. Into that gap, some emptiness and openness, allowing these profound messages to come in from this section of the text. Coming into bless and heal and awaken your mind, enlighten you. You're just going to allow these messages in and permeate into your awareness, deeper part of your awareness. Like pebbles in a pond just dropping in. Just watch your breath. Observing the breath flowing into the nostrils and the breath flowing out of the nostrils. Stomach rising, stomach falling. And you just kind of sink inwards, going deeper and deeper into peaceful place, peace of perfect love. Is with you. And you let these words, which is a summary, this is a personalized executive summary we've just produced from our session translating this section of the text. And just breathing in. Ask you to breathe in on each sentence. Nice deep breath in, so you just allowing this energy of the sentence to come in. And the more I bring the errors of fear and doubt into the light of my true awareness, you can imagine the light flowing in. It helps you, golden or white light. Maybe it's just sense of the awareness coming in as you breathe in. I can access that through my heart. Just put one end on your heart, connect with your heart space. Feel this loving awareness in your heart. The more I connect with that awareness, drop your attention down into your heart center, breathe in again to that area. And all the errors or darkness will disappear. So all darkness is an error in your thought and your emotion. That's all it is. All the errors of darkness will disappear and bring the peace of perfect love. Surpasses all understanding. When you exhale, blow it all out, let go of all that darkness. Imagine it's like a dark cloud or black smoke leaving you. Going, gone. And as the darkness will disappear and bring the peace of perfect love that surpasses all understanding. Feel that peace, breathe it in, just breathing in and out through your nose. Fusing the peace into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Say, I must deny the errors of my separate self to defend the truth. Let go of the miscreations and projections of my belief in separation. So these are my illusions, miscreations. And this will free my mind and reestablish the freedom of my true awareness. So breathe that in. It's true awareness to every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is free. You've denied the error, you've accepted the truth. Recognize that only the truth is true, nothing else is true. I choose the truth by what I value. So I focus on valuing what is true, letting go of valuing what is false. My decisions will become easier and I will save myself a lot of time and needless suffering. The one-man principle, unconditional love that's actualized by the letting go of the denial of love in all its forms is the only defense of the truth I cannot use to attack. So I accept the plan of one-man rather than my own. Breathe it in, embrace it. And accept this plan. You know, it's not your own plan, it's not of your own making. It's part of the humility. It's okay, I don't really have a clue. I don't know how to escape from time and space because I made them up. I made that time and space for my belief, to give myself a separate self, separate identity. The one principle of unconditional love, actualized by letting go of the denial of love in all its forms, is the only defense of the truth that I cannot use to attack, and so I accept this plan, one rather than my own. Breathe in on that. Confirm your choice. In your mind, your heart, feel it in your heart. Put one hand on your heart, your heart slip down. And you feel this at one moment. Your moment is the way out. It's the plan of God for awakening every seemingly separate mind from time and space. It's been there as the way out of time and space. It's just a belief since time began. And I must learn to improve my perceptions and become a better and better learner in time by applying its principles. So the principle is love, perfect oneness, and I apply it when I let go of everything else and I accept only perfect oneness. This will bring me into closer and closer relationship with everyone and everything. And ultimately remove my belief in differences entirely, which will be the final step in that oneness. So when I There's no belief in differences. There's no other. There's just one awareness. Then I'm home. I'm stand in the at-one-ment, the completed at-one-ment. The at-one-ment is the means by which I can free myself from the past as I live in time. I don't have to keep repeating the same mistakes. So feel that freedom. You breathe it in to every pore, every cell of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is free in the light. The at-one-ment is the means by which I can free myself from the past as I live in time. It undoes my past errors, so I'm making it unnecessary for me to keep learning the same lesson and getting stuck in time. The at-one-ment will save me time and help me to attain transcendent state of pure formless awareness, which everyone has transcended time. Now, I can attain that state now. I collapse time. I get to the end result of at-one-ment now. So, time, the at-one-ment's going to play out in millions of years. So finally, at the end of time, there's no more need for it. The at-one-ment stands as the completed, finished article. There is only oneness remaining. All separation has been let go of, and the universe of separation disappears. Without belief, space-time cannot continue to exist. So, making consistent corrections directs the defense of at-one-ment for my real protection, and become more and more secure. As I become more and more secure through this process of correcting my own mind, when I correct my own mind, let go of all errors, restore my mind to truth, I let go of fear. Letting go of fear means I become more and more secure, more and more safe. I will naturally fulfill my role of protecting others. Knowing myself as their companion and the extension of perfect love. Know myself as a brother, companion to everyone, and the extension of perfect love. This is my path in time, path of awakening. I learn who I really am, what I really am. So now I rest for a minute or two in the deep silence, the stillness of oneness. Just breathe in and out through the nose, observe the breath. Be quiet, be still. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, and be still. Surrender into the oneness. Let the One-Man speak to you and tell you that you are whole and healed and complete right now, perfect as you are. And then it will guide you in all of your decisions, your actions from now on to make your life much easier. So just sink into the oneness, experience the One-Man as a present experience. Right now, go out of time, you return to oneness in this present moment, the next couple of minutes of deep silence. And if any darkness arises, or negative thoughts coming up to tempt you, you're just going to apply that One-Man principle, deny them. Say, I choose only the truth. And let go of all illusions. I do not value these illusions at all. They are not real, they have no effect, they have no value for me. So I let them go. You blow them all away with the breeze of your breath. So nothingness they really are. It's going, gone. Lower stomach into the spine. Spell the last remaining air out. And just rest in this perfect state of at-one-ment for a minute or so of deep silence. And so just gently coming back to an awareness of the body and the breath, the senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Breathe into your heart center, connect with your heart. It's the engine of the Atonement. Put one hand on your heart. Raise the energy all the way up from the heart center into the crown of your head. Pause at the top of the inhale. Smile. Scan your mind. Notice thoughts, emotions, sensations going on, particularly if it feels negative, limiting, attracted, constricting in any way. And then just going to let them go. Blow them out. It's the breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. Stomach into the groin, expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here. Peace and stillness for a few moments. Count of 2. It's the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling and touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose. Notice that. Notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Just noticing all these things in this very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. So noticing them without attachment, without judgment. You don't make the errors real. This is the Atonement principle. Deny the error, brings you back in truth. It's going to stay here for the rest of the evening. Keep in mind the lesson, which we're going to practice now. So on the count of 3, open your eyes. Just look around for a minute, and we're going to apply the lesson one more time. So if you look around, so I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Apply it to specific objects. So if you see a table, I've given this table all the meaning it has for me. If I see a chair, I've given the chair all the meaning it has for me. I see, given this wall, all the meaning it has for me. Just do that for a dozen or so objects. Just randomly, don't try and select anything or avoid anything. Very casually, just a few seconds per object and move on. Notice what you're feeling, this peace that you experience in the meditation is very much there. It's the underlying state and nature, your true nature. So you just one more time to conclude the exercise, say, I've given everything I see, and just look around, up, down, in front of you, behind you. Given everything I see and everything I perceive, all the meaning that it has for me. Let that just kind of sit with you. Anchor the state in, this very calm, aware, detached state into your awareness. And set the intention to stay there for the rest of the evening. If you need to use the lesson again to top yourself up, do that. This should set you up for a very peaceful, flowing evening. Deep sleep and a flowing day tomorrow, which is what I wish for you. So that brings us to the end of the session, the end of the meditation, and the end of the session. So thank you, everyone, and namaste.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Namaste.
joining. Okay, namaste. We'll
Namaste.
see you tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.